Okay. Hello everyone! Welcome back to Arknights. How's everyone doing today? Sorry for the slightly late start. Arknights is going a little slow for some reason. I don't know if it's the emulator or what's up, but yeah. I thought everything was ready and then I clicked start and it just didn't start. I was like, hello? Yeah. The conception of Silksong is big. I see. Be strong, Les. You got this. I've been tempted this whole week, to dig into the game off stream. I was thinking that I could do a stream tomorrow, like a shorter stream, kind of like I do with the art streams, starting a little later. Hello? Arknights?
Doctor, what are you muttering
The heck
there?
is... Okay.
I won't force you to recite any poems, but you have read them, have you not?
Alright. That was weird. But yes, I've been tempted to try to play some Silksong tomorrow. I might not, depending on how it goes, because the reading streams might be a little exhausting. So I'll let y'all know during the day. But yeah, for now, main thing we gotta focus on, we gotta finish this event. Finally, is it gonna take Arknights? It's gonna take long to load. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is really weird. Where did we leave off? By the way, I swear if it crashes, it is already pretty laggy. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Seems like for stream, it seems like stream is fine, right? But yeah, I think we read through all this, right? We had the funeral, I think, was the last thing that we did. Dokas, what is happening? Arknights, help!
Once there was a red dragon.
Okay.
Pride, who snubbed all.
So this is...
Only to herself in the mirror from
this is after the whole thing happens. This is no thing, has to the historical ruins. Okay, so that's after... Yeah, this is their face-off. Oh, like flipping around. Yeah, okay, so they go to the ruins, and then we did the before, I guess, of 5. Do you guys remember? Let's see. Yeah. She was in the forest. She knows who sends request to hold a funeral for the departed. Right. Oh, did we finish reading the node? Maybe we did. Yeah. Maybe I decided to go all the way because I was like, there's also that extra node. So better to make as much progress as possible early on. Oh yeah. Isn't this where? Yeah, Brigadier is suddenly here. Yeah. What did he say? You aren't going to ask how I return? No, I won't. Okay, and then there was a funeral, and then okay, it's so much happened in this one. But alright. Okay, so now we're caught up. And now we can continue. There we go. I guess we almost got through as many chapters as there was in the what do you call it? If it was a big event, with 10 nodes. But yeah, okay, there we go. Is chat not updating? Hello? Okay, no, I guess it's just quiet. Alright, that's fine. Let's see. Let's continue. So I won't go to the city, even to perform a fire returning ceremony. What you've described is highly unusual. We cannot simply take your word that the residents are no longer among the living. Besides, the fire returning ceremony is just that, a ceremony. Do not expect it to be anything more than that. Very well then. You may return, Wake Woman. Thank you for your help. You intend to go back to Nassau, DC, even without us? Moran and the others have settled in well, and I've done what Nemo's entrusted to me, so my work here is done. And you did do something, so there you go. Take care, Your Highness. I will. See ya. The red dragon sets out in the direction from whence she came. Everything that happened yesterday seems but a distant shadow now, but also a tiny spark of flame. Return the fire. Oh, hello. Welcome back. Have you made up your mind to go to your death? The stranger? Good timing, sir. May we talk? If you will help me. Did your red dragon history lesson ever teach you about a poor wretched by the name of Lavrithac? Excuse me? I'll take that as a no. After returning to the palace for the first time in years, he never even had the chance to see his brother before the guards took him away and plunged a sword through his chest. I know the story. Then why are you so eager to follow in his footsteps and have history remember you as a fool? Leave. You've seen your sister, and you're still alive. In that, you've already achieved more than he ever did. Are all red dragon twins? Right, I was gonna wonder that too. It seems to be a theme going. I mean, maybe. I don't know. The story of Lavrithac and Alil is not the story of me and Eblana. Eblanana. Every time I see the name Eblana for the past week, I was thinking of Eblanana. Fine. Let's say I was willing to hear you out. What did you want to talk about? The city's fire returning ceremony. I just wanted to find someone to help with the preparations, but you seem to know a lot about the history and tales of Tara, so I was thinking you might be able to help. History? Tales? We can talk on the way. Come. But that's not the way to the Dark Woods. Just follow me. It worked out for you in the woods, didn't it? I guess. Fair argument? Kinda? The ruins of the palace. I've been here before. It's dangerous. The original rich environment is... You said you wanted history and tales? What better place in Tara than this ancient tangy expletive palace? The what palace? Never mind. Her name is so memeable, it really is. I appreciate your help in the woods, but I have important business to attend to. I don't have time to... And what's this important business? Dying for nothing? Sure, you're different from your sister. The dragon's flames may be cursed, but her personality is as typical as they come. Arrogant, leaving no room for any other voice. You may be better, but... I'm different from my sister, but she's not who you say she is. But however different you may be, conflict is in the nature of the red dragons, even if you have merely dragged into it. I was watching, Game Grumps play through Deltarune, and you know when they do like the chapter 1, because they were replaying it because it's been so long since they played it, and the part with the bleep squad. Yeah. And there's only ever one outcome. Only one may emerge alive. Yeah, that was this kinda vibe. One of you will die, sooner or later. So what's the hurry? I guess. Have patience, young dragon. We're almost there. Not necessarily, but you know. I mean, I guess... Yeah. In time, like you said. We came here for this altar. Altar? You mean that thing in the middle? Isn't that the furnace? The furnace which fused together the weapons of every Terran soldier and overturned the fate of the dynasty. The furnace from which fallen soldiers were reborn. That's what you call it today, isn't it? Far more important than just another altar, to be sure. But an altar is an altar, even if it's a little bigger than the others. It was based on the ceremonial stone circle used to coronate the King Gale, and the place was built around it. Whenever an old red dragon died, this is where the fire was returned to them. The fire returned? What you saw back at those Woodbrains camp. Gotta give them credit. They managed to remember all that, even centuries later. Fire returning wasn't just about a bonfire back in the day, though. By the time of the old hag Maigred, it was enough for the siblings of the heir to the title of King Gale, to put their hands into the fire and get a few blisters. Go back even further, though, and those siblings would have been burned alive together. Or so they say. There is no hard evidence. I did immediately think of the Sarka's furnace, yeah. Now you've gotten even paler. He flicks his hand and a speck of purple fire flies forth from his sleeve, joining the same purple fire in the altar. The flames breathe quietly, like an infant in its mother's embrace. So is this why this guy is normal, and not just like a Walking Dead, just like a zombie? Your flame is purple too? No, wait, you're a Draco? Could you be? Wow, really? I mean, I know your disguise wasn't great, so you clearly can tell the difference. So, I guess it's consistent. Awfully slow, aren't you? Well, it's too late to run. Put your hand in. What? You want now so easy to return its fire, don't you? Oh, didn't you? Put your hand in. The red dragon falls silent, then stretches out her hand to touch the flame in the furnace. As expected, it is not warm, but to her surprise, it does not feel cold either. No, I brought you here to see something. The tragedy of Tara, the ill repute of the red dragons. It is simply the cruel cycle of fate repeating itself, again and again. Yeah, I guess it's because of that. Even got a ghost in there. Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess it's, enough of a... it's not that much of a stretch, I guess. Like your sister, I was an aberration that breathed the flames of death. It is not my intention to disrespect the death, nor could I even if I wanted to. But I wanted to show you the fate of those who die upon this land. Oh. Let's see. Is this where we should begin? Understandable. Of all recent events, it is the most significant. Oh, there's the guy. Your sister was right. Those who have touched the flames of death are beyond help. Yet the fire should not have spread so readily. What hatred did it take for the Dracos to once again sire an ill-omened aberration? The first in 600 years. I don't know. Again, probably some ancient experiment or something. Both are strong, sturdy, and very heavy. Yeah, understandable. Ah, and him. If you ask me, he slept in far too late. Would hardly drag himself out of bed by sunset. Of course, he became the sacrifice. Even you shall not speak of the dead so lightly. Do not justify it as a sacrifice. You can only say that because you've seen too little. Those feelings will pass soon enough once you're used to it. See, here comes another sacrifice. Oh. The Victorians who killed you have been chased out. The last Victorian bastard died before my eyes. In a sense, your sister's dream did become reality. The Terrans have risen, and the Victorians have fallen. Simple, direct, satisfying. Were you one of the bystanders too? Don't get caught up on that, child. You know what I am. I guess. Oh, cool. This I don't recognize. Explain. It was a war. There are always wars. Be specific. You realize how little that, How did she... Oh, be specific. How did she incinerate? And what land did she set her sights on? Who did she incinerate? What the hell is this? Yeah. Victoria. Ivana wanted to take back from the Aslans. This was the conclusion to that war. The Aslans? Those conceited bastards? But is she not facing a Sarkas? Right? How, that sums up the Victoria arc pretty well. Never mind. The lions were the ones who stole Victoria. That's all I need to know. Sure. Wow, looks cool with the mask. I don't need you to tell me what this is. Just as I can tell the expression beneath the mask. The satisfaction and joy that only appears on a red dragon's visage is the face of certain death. No, that wasn't joy. It was the opposite. The opposite? Maybe you were simply gravely injured and started hallucinating in the brink of death. But as I said, this is simply repeating the past. What? It is my ride on wheels now, and the master of the realm has changed hands, but what's inside never changes. I guess, again. When you tried to claim your stolen land, but it was stolen from someone else before you, yeah. Things just got a little complicated. What is this? Your home? Where did you learn to point your blades at each other? Who's this man? The Earl of Warwick, our foster father. Eblana said he helped Aren see hope, a hope they could see but never reach. That all he ever did was drive thirsty travelers mad with mirages. In his hand held a delicate thread. On one end were the Tarans who had rediscovered their name. On the other lay the oppressors who had trodden upon them for so long. That thread was my sister and I. Looking back, perhaps he was the first to be afflicted by the purple flame. Sure. Looking back, a lot of things can be make sense, I guess. Not only do you sympathize with your sister, but you also know her well. No wonder you're so loath to heal her. You're so loath to heal her. Anyway. But I have no intention of becoming like her. Nor will I simply allow myself to be killed. Okay. Makes sense. These events, this history you had me recall, what are you trying to tell me? That the history of Tara is nothing but the continuous accumulation and recombination of ruins of the past. What you have seen, I have too. Nothing new can be found within. What I see are not ruins, but the source of the flames. The flames in Nassau Irsi are indeed my sister's fire, but they are also the great sorrow behind the bloodshed, left with nowhere to go. Just recapping for the readers, yeah. It was the war. No, the pain, the oppression, the things taken from them, which began long before the war. That's what lit the fire in their hearts. My sister shaped their sorrow into hatred, which scorched the fields of Tara and drove out the Victorians. However, without vengeance to cloak the sorrow, that same fire has come back to burn them, burning away everything they have, until they are nothing but the walking death. Again, second mention. This crossover is inbound. Tell ya. A fine summary, child. But do you really think that returning the fire will solve all the city's problems? It's the only path before me. True, but how do you tread it? Come, we've seen your story. Now see mine. Okay. That's what I'm interested in. Well, I guess both things are interesting. That's more mysterious, I guess. On the side of this guy. Don't cry now. It's just a cloud beast. But I raised Greyclover when she was a baby. They say your fire is different, Heidi. Do you not... What? You do not heal the living, but instead bring the dead back to life. They don't come back. It's just an empty shell. Even if it's just an empty shell, please, Tidy. I just want to hear Greyclaw's voice again. And so the impulsive red dragon let his daughter's plea get the better of his judgment. After a few months, strange things began to happen. Not just to the cloud beast, but to all the beasts of the pasture. Burden beasts no longer ate grass. Sister beasts no longer gave milk. I see. The old... That's so gross. The old refused to die. The young refused to live. And bare skeletons devoid of flesh began to roam the pastures. As the purple fire spread through the earths, the red dragon was forced to leave the pastures with his people. He made the same mistakes many times through his brief existence. Tenge, I guess, is like the ancient language. I'm assuming it's like Celtic or something. Like, are obviously not the same, but you know, the equivalent, the real life equivalent. Clovis is a cat with gold horns and short tail. Very cute. Oh, that sounds very cute. You know, now I understand why she wanted to be revived. Huh. That sounds very cute. The purple fire spread through the earths. What about it? Your own dear sister desired to burn people with that same fire. Now that's crazy. Oh, dare to burn. Yep. How was the fire extinguished? You'll find out soon enough. This is the citadel in Asavirsi? That same corridor? No, but your mistake is understandable. We do reuse assets a lot, you know. We simply took a large step back in time. This is how the palace you currently stand in looked 600 years ago. It's incredible how stonemasons' centuries hence managed to perfectly recreate it in this Nasawirsk of yours. Oh, it's like a replica. Okay. I guess that explains it, yeah. So what happened here? Here. Is this the room where it happened? Mayhaps. Labrithag the Fool had made too many mistakes, the likes of which you have already seen. He grew weak and felt his end coming. Yeah, I kinda like when they even explain the lack of assets or the reuse of them. It's a little silly, but I like it. On the eve of Samhain, he came to see the brother he had not seen for 20 years, bearing the finest gifts his nomadic life would allow. He even convinced the druids of the city. He oversaw the festival ceremonies to take him to his brother. Touched by his familiar love, they led him into the city, but he failed to realize when his guide's silhouette, voice, and demeanor changed. Not until it was too late. He was taken to this very corridor and... Oh, dang. I doubt that Ailil, who gave the order to assassinate his brother, was on that balcony on the other side of the door. For my eyes were wide open until the very end, but I never saw his fire through the gaps. Where did it all go wrong? Was he angry that the priest continued to treat me as royalty? Did he consider me living without a war 20 years earlier a betrayal? Or was it someone else who wanted me dead, and he simply had no choice? I'll never know. Within this brief, swift act of violence, there was only one thing that I had long known, that I had never doubted. A red dragon never forgives. The hatred of the dragons is even stronger than the history of Tara. The depths sure are proud of the Star Wars, of the Wars VFX. I thought he said Star Wars VFX. Or SFX. Yeah. But there is more I want to tell you. After I died, Ailil ordered my coffin dragged through the city, for all to see the end that befell me. And so, purple fire raged through every pasture I had stayed at with my clan. Life turned its back on all who touched it. Only death remained. 7 days later, the priest returned my fire to me at a clearing outside the dark woods. And only when the fire they returned to me was extinguished did the purple flames in the pasture begin to subside. It was only then that the last vestige of my consciousness that remained in the flames after death faded into darkness. All living things that touch the flames, people or beasts, were turned to ash. Your sister spoke true. The flames will continue to spread as long as she lives. But she is a typical red dragon. She is not so noble as to give up her life to save those who have yet to survive. If she is inviting you back, then it is certainly a trap. Run. Call for help. Yell. Find someone who is her equal to extinguish the endlessly spreading flames. That is the only way.
But what if she has already decided that I'm the only one worthy to dance with her? What if I can't abandon the lives in the city to their fates, as long as there is any chance of saving them?
So you'll return the fire to someone who's still alive?
Yes.
And what if that doesn't work?
Regardless, I'm going back, no matter what.
I mean, have you ever tried it? Has anyone ever tried it? Silence, and then Lakshini hears a sigh. I suppose stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary. I like how she didn't even ask, like, how are you still alive? I guess she assumed, yeah, that's the fire. Alright, oh, this note right away? Oh no, but we've only done that before, right? I almost jumped into the next note right away. Yeah, there we go, okay.
This is far enough. We are already at the Wakeman camp.
Your sister roused me from my slumber. You can always return me to it with your own flames, if you want. Okay. Disintegrates.
Read!
A golden-haired Piero leaps off on the back of a burden beast and rushes towards the red dragon. The burden beast is dragging an improvised cart with numerous long wooden boxes stacked upon it.
Bridget? What are you doing here? Are those coffins?
Oh. What happened?
Yeah, coffins. Nemo said to bring him to the Wakeman. Are they still in the ruins? Say, is there someone with you? I can smell that same burning sting, and I can swear I heard you talking just now.
Again. See ya.
No, I'm alone. These are dead folks. The type who put their own arms out of their sockets to bite at their imaginary enemies if you grab their hand, along with the poor wretches they tore to pieces. And Theo, Nemos found them in the end. It's almost like this was the natural order of things. The bonfires will be burning brightest when night falls on Samhain.
The red dragon looks towards Nasairsi and sees a faint shadow in the distance, painting the silhouette of purple flames.
We'll be out of coffins if this keeps up.
Yeah, I imagine. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's an only choice, right? Carry out the plan? Because, I mean, it can't get worse, surely. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't speak too soon.
I hope Bridget made it out of the city, and that the mist in the woods is thin enough for her to follow the trail. Blast it. Kulan left a few unused weapons in this house. I can't let anyone see them. And this fuel. Explosives? Her Highness Lakshini might find a use for them. No, what's the point when every servant in the Citadel has already been afflicted by the purple flames? Besides, the greater red dragon has already sent them away. Almost as if she's preparing for a showdown with Her Highness.
It is Arknights, it can always get worse. Unfortunately, yeah.
Or setting a trap? Who's there?
I was gonna say this guy, but okay, it is Rory. I was wondering if it actually was.
What are you doing here?
You're Nemo's.
Yes, I'm going through Cullen's effects. If this isn't urgent, could I ask you to...
The heck? Traitor.
Have you gone mad? Oh, silly me. Of course you have. We all have.
Traitor. What the...
I still can't bring myself to kill them. even if they might as well be dead already. I'd better drag this fellow back home. We'll do without the unwanted attention.
Yeah, I guess it is Arknights. Yeah, if the writers so desire, it can always get worse. I was gonna say for better or worse, but more like for worse or worst.
Nimos? Don't mind me, I'll be on my way. What's that in your hand? Oh, nothing. Now if you'll excuse me. That necklace. It was a gift from Niels to Emma. I gave her bread. That's way more valuable than jewelry in times like this. She gave it to me.
For worse or, yeah.
Did she now? A necklace she never takes off.
It's none of your business. Okay. Hello.
Nimos, you stayed behind? I thought all the Dubliners left the city.
What?
Don't tell me you're one of those living statues now who refuse to move or talk. I might be soon. Why did you bring them up? Samhain begins tonight, so I went through the houses of the missing people and found plenty of good stuff for the party tonight. Oh. Did I skip something? No. Okay. Samhain? Party? About Cullen, well, he was already on his last legs by then, and I didn't really... Let's not talk about that.
You brought it up.
Look at all this stuff. It'll be a night to remember.
The woman shows Nimos her bag, revealing a bottle of curded cyst milk, a few long since sprouted potatoes, and several bare bones.
Just wait for me, Nimos. Cullen. We'll have a fantastic Samhain.
Only when the woman has already disappeared around the corner does Nimos remember who she is. A villager who once lived on the outskirts of Nassau-Irsey. 2 years ago, the Victorians took her father away while investigating Dublin. The autumn harvest had just ended, and she had been preparing to celebrate the harvest festival. Yeah, they're in some weird loop thing. Yeah. What Lakshmi hears about the situation in the city exceeds her wildest imagination. I guess, yeah, it's like, it can get worse. It got a lot worse. Writing-wise. Anyway. I must go back, now.
Wait for me. I'll come with once I've delivered the folks to the Wakeman. Are you sure about this, Bridget? It's dangerous in the city. If I fail, there may be no survivors. True, but I still gotta go. Why? Because it wasn't like this before. The city folk never had much to spare, but they always had a cup of water for me when I delivered their letters.
Oh.
They didn't see me as one of their own, but they didn't walk away with a sneer when I told them nomad legends either. They listened. And they definitely didn't bite, claw, and punch at people like they do these days. Like The Walking Dead straight from a story.
Again? Because I want to become a playable character, yeah.
Who will the nomads deliver letters for, if the city dies for real?
Yeah, I don't have, because the event is going, I haven't been able to get more chips, but I really want to build her. I really, this is probably one of my favorite characters in this event, which, you know, might not be saying much, but I genuinely really like her.
Moran? The second shipment of bodies has arrived from Nassau-Irsey. I must make the preparations. At these rates, it won't be long until the 3rd, 4th or more. Are we really going to ignore it? As I've told you many times, the Wakemen do not take sides. It is not our decision to make.
It can be, though. Read the Shadow Double of Dublin when anything happened. What? Yeah, she's always surprised. I guess, again, she's not really expecting it to get any worse, and of course it does.
Are the Nassau-Irsians not Tarrants too? Why are we standing on the side watching when the Tarrant capital is marching towards destruction? I know you came back with the Red Dragon. You fear she will meet the same fate as Lavrithak. But we were the ones to send Lavrithak to his doom.
Ah.
You...
We are descended from the priest that once officiated the ceremonies of Tara's royal palace. Our ancestors, moved by Labrador's plea, welcomed him back into the palace when Alilis' stance was ambient. Alilis. The flames of death that spread through the plains of Tara were only extinguished 7 days after his death, when our ancestors finally returned his fire to him. They then left the palace of their own accord, going into self-exile on Labrador's former pastures, so as to never forget the lesson. And thus, the Wakemen were born. What the heck? Don't worry about that. Okay. I'm sorry. But read this in Labrador, and history is not a cycle that repeats itself endlessly. If it were, Reed would have already died in that citadel. Even her tyrant of a sister was the one to free Tara from Victorian rule. Fates are often alike, but always differ where it matters most. Bars. Bars, okay. The Wakemen were born. Behold, the gamepad! Wait, what the heck? Oh, right, we're back to the story. Fates are often alike, but always differ where it matters most. What a wonderful tagline for the cover of the book. Sure, this one is destined for the bestseller charts. Assuming, of course, that you are ever able to finish the story. I've never intended to profit of it. Oh, you will. If not in money, then in fame. The basis of the story, where it happened, there are more than enough reasons this isn't my story to tell. Besides, what happens next? That's what I wanted to ask. Did Lakshini go back? From this point on, what I've seen, what I believe, and what I've said all contradict one another, which is why I've lost sight of the ending. Feel free to take up the challenge, if you're up to it. Give this dance between the dragon and her reflection whatever ending you please. Oh? Is it all the same if I tell it myself? Of course, ma'am. As you will, it's... The writer raises his mug, which is almost empty now, and toasts the woman before him. Once again, he swallows the bitter brew, half expecting the sweet aftertaste that he knows will never come. Did I spook you? You got so polite all of a sudden. It makes me feel impertinent, or even pressing the question. No, but I must make it abundantly clear that everything we have discussed until now is no more than idle chatter. You understand, don't you? The woman sits straight and does not say a word. The writer can only attempt to guess whether she is still smiling through the shadows. Well, what are you waiting for? I've nearly finished my drink. I've fallen into the same conundrum as you. If this is as far as both your references and your imagination go, how could I possibly put the Red Dragon's ultimate fate to paper? I've already said I'm unable to. I refuse to give this story an entirely fictional end, one that not even I could believe in, even if the alternative is that there is no ending. If you don't have an answer either, then no need to waste your time here. Leave while it's still early. Is this because you do not remember, do not understand? Or is it because you wish you never knew, never understood? What? What are you talking about? What are you getting at? Yeah. You've never lost sight of the ending. It will be more appropriate to say that your eyes have become clouded by too many creative liberties. Shall I recount them for you? Treasures leading people into the darkness. Cullen dragging the statue to the square by himself. And virtually everything related to the dark mist in the woods. From the rejection of Bridget, to the food carts returning to the city on their own, to Lakshini becoming lost in the woods, to the Brigadier and Ablana's meeting in the city. If these creative liberties have created the contradictions in your mind, then it is my responsibility to set them on a path towards the ending. Shall I supplement the story with my own observations? I would now have to go for a while, be back later. No worries, Mateo. See you later. Are we gonna see the story how it actually happened now then? I'll take that as a yes. Perhaps they will lead you to a conclusion you can be satisfied with. Okay. Okay. That's how we go into this note. Death of a romance. This is just a story, not a map of our future. There's no need to cry, Lokshini. Alright, let's hear it. Where did you leave off? Ah, yes. On the eve of Samhain, while the sun still hung in the sky. Oh, I wish now we had the voice, but I guess yeah, they don't want to reveal who it is. Makes sense. Samhain nights bind life with death. This is no mere superstition. Or perhaps you could say it has long transcended superstition. Taran legends speak of countless great deeds and tragedies occurring on this very night, and such tales often put the date front and center. So long as innumerable legends coincide on that day, and so long as the Tarans still remember, if only vaguely, to celebrate the harvest and light up fires in that day, it will never be a simple change of season. It itself is the perfect footnote to add to any myth. Oh, and another thing. I don't suppose you'd mind if I gave the characters more fitting names, yes? Okay. The sun is leaning westward. Have we yet to figure out how to go about this final confrontation? Oh. All the way back here? What? Cold young dragon. Lakshini, why are you hiding in your room at dinner time again? Cold dragon young. What is wrong name? Wrong game. Is Dad angry? No, but he will be soon. I'll be down soon. What's that on your desk? Nothing. Nothing. The young red dragon tries to block her sister's line of sight with her body, but her effort is in vain. A small paper box sits on her desk, carefully lined with cotton. Inside lies a tiny foul beast, already dead, but still harboring a faint lingering warmth. It seems to have broken its leg while alive. An unsuccessful splint fashioned from stiff paper now lies in pieces around it, accompanied by a few grains of wheat. This is the foul beast that sang at my window every morning. I don't know what happened to it, but I wanted to save it, and... I beg of you, sister. Tell Dad I'm only feeling ill. I'll be on time for dinner tomorrow. I'll bury it in the courtyard I'll bury it in the courtyard tonight. So you're giving up? It's already dead. Is that so? Oh boy. Purple flames slip past the foul beast's feathers into its already cold body. The two watch as it slowly stands up, its broken leg stiffly propping itself up on the cotton. Alright, would you like it to fly, or to sing a song for you? No, this isn't right, not like this. Then why didn't you use your own flames on it while it was still alive? Your foul beast could have lived a much longer life. You do realize you're unlimited to how the mediocre masses do things, don't you? But Mom told me to swallow my flames, hide them away, and never let them be seen. And who will you see them in your... And who will see them in your own room? No. I can hear somebody speaking about the dove already. Yeah! I love the dove speech. It is a good one. I like that part in Penacony. The young dragon looks away to avoid her sister's eyes, but finds her gaze landing on the foul beast standing on its cotton bed instead. Purple fire burns in its eyes, and even the way it tilts its head is a spitting image of her sister. Or do we perhaps still harbor unrealistic fantasies for how this could end? Oh. Even back here. Sister, you're covered in blood. Were you injured? Most of it isn't mine. The Duke's spy bled profusely. I'll replace your bandages. Where is the Earl of Warwick? He has work to do. Yes, so he says. And as always, you take him at his word. He even allowed the spy to discuss poetry with you while he works.
I thought I've been keeping mum about their origins, as well as anything related to the Earl's vision. Everyone in this manor knows you never say a word more than necessary. That has never been something the Earl will bother to check. That's right. Had we even let the spy escape, the Earl will still inevitably find a way to silence him in the dark, and we'd simply find ourselves bound by yet another chain called caution. I'm sorry. There's no need for you to apologize. Apologies have never changed a thing. Well, dang. 1 second. Wonder how people didn't notice Switch Read is a lot less flashy. True. That is interesting. I mean, I guess they do a lot of... They're probably experts at the Switch at this point. But the CGs themselves, or the PNGs themselves, do look a little funny. Once packed with guests, the long empty parlor's acoustics now amplify the sound of the bandages being ripped apart, making the atmosphere even heavier. Those poems by the Simus Williams you've been so into, if you can't remember them, why not recite a line or two for me? The noble red dragon racks her brains for a burst that will not rouse her sister's rage. Perhaps something related to Tara, brave warriors, or even ancient legends. Excuse me. But all she can recall are verses that stand aloof from worldly affairs. The land is but a strange romance, the cause of it end lost to chance ill. I am but a wandering bard, well versed in lore from songs in the woods. She sneaks a peek at her sister's face and sees no change. She plucks up her courage and continues to recite more lines. Only when she finishes both the entire poem and the new bandage with a delicate nod does she realize that her sister has already fallen asleep, encircled by meter and rhyme. Oh. She's just a sleepy little girl, you know? No war crimes to see here, obviously. Or perhaps... Noble red dragon. Sister. Greedy red dragon. Ah, Lakshmi, you've kept me waiting. What of your new friends? The wayward wake woman, or perhaps that lively nomad? With your presence, any obstacle preventing you from bringing them along should have easily been reduced to naught. They are in the city, but this is a moment to be shared by us alone. Indeed. It's cold out here on the balcony, so let us continue this in the corridor. A replica of where Labyrinth died, in Asairsi. Why must you cling on to our inglorious history and repeat it? I see you've gained a deeper understanding of the word Tara. But if history does not repeat itself, then how can we speak of breaking the cycle? What? I guess if there's no cycle, like there is no cycle to be broken or something? Sure. It can be very difficult to tell us apart by appearance. But the moment either of us speaks, it becomes as clear as night and day. Eplana only ever steers the conversation towards her own interests, while Lakshmi is ever the polite one. Oh, kinda what you were saying, Les. She'd get to the bottom of this and find an ending. Yeah. Don't interrupt me, sir. I'm talking about the characters in the story. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Eplana. No, I am quite glad. You finally accepted my invitation. To dance? Yes, to dance. I'll dance with you to the end, together. However, please tell me first. The last time we met, you said you couldn't afford to wait any longer. What exactly is going on? With that same smile of hers,
The oldest sister stands at the end of the corridor, while the younger clutches her hands together and hides in the shadows of a wall lamp, hoping the other party won't notice her heart wavering. Poor thing. She could have concluded this farewell so much sooner. You've become frail. The flames of death must have their limits. Sparing them so far will certainly drag you down as fire after fire blooms, just like Labriatak back then. Am I right? I see. While that ghost's fire might resemble mine, his temperament is closer to yours. It seems he's helped you quite a lot. At first, he only wanted to watch all of Tara burn. He was simply trying to keep it together, just like you. Sure. The noble red dragon finally steps out of the shadows, walking towards the support of her sister, who seems on the verge of being unable to stand, just like before. Is that so? At last you resemble your younger self, when you knew nothing of flames or fate. The you who tried to shield me. It has been a truly long time, Lakshini. I remember it. It was when Mrs. Murphy next door passed away. You didn't like her, but fancied the beautiful bouquet of flowers in her coffin. So you used your flames to change her body's position. I saw scorch marks on the flowers and thought you'd be scalded, so I told her parents I was the one who did it. I even fabricated a story of how I opened and closed the coffin. And so you were scalded instead. How could poor Mom and Dad, who couldn't even hide the flames in the family in time, possibly have noticed the faint scorch marks on some flowers? Indeed. Is that why you've always been cowering? Will you blame every decision you've made in life on one unfortunate childhood experience? Funny you say that. Evelina, come on, let me farm more aura. Yeah. Yeah, just imagining that image of her against the light. Just vibing there. Let's see. So tell me, sister. Tell me there's still time. I'll accompany you out of the citadel and into the square. Have the people return their flames to you. I'll walk through Tara's fields with you and gather the death you've intentionally or unintentionally awoken with your art, sending them all to peaceful rest. I'll recite poems to you while you're weak, until you fall asleep and wake up again. There's still time for all of that, yes? I trust you to keep your word. Your noble nature will be appalled at the very thought of breaking a promise. But what you just described, will that truly make you happy? Or will that simply be enough to appease the Lakshini Dublinn, who did not even witness her parents' death that snowy night? Those beautiful fictions. Sister, love, poetry, dreams, those are all well and good, but it is time for you to wake up. Kill me. If you truly wish to end this chaos, that is the only way. Then put on the crown, and you shall become me, while I become you. That is the one thing I cannot do. You'll have time to mull over it once I'm dead. Didn't you decide not to hesitate anymore, Lakshini? There's been no other choice for us from the moment you came back to see me. The older sister's mouth curls up in an intriguing arc. Come, dance with me. Is this the dance you've been looking forward to all this time? Why can't it be? The youngest sister closes her eyes as she points her spear at her older sister, whose body is about to topple over. She grips her weapon with both hands. The sharp spear tip pierces the red dragon's body, but she stands unmoved, as if nothing happened at all, until her younger sister's hands circle her waist and her body slowly crumples. Just like the end of a dance. Oh, there you go. No injury, though. No visible injury, at least. Yes, I know. I should have known long ago.
why? Why must it be now? Then when? Don't tell me you'd prefer to stop my heart on a fine afternoon after meticulously dissecting every nuance of right and wrong with me. You return to me, and we dance this dance together. That's enough. Rating strikes again. I guess so. I only thought, if my sorrow and hatred... Oh, never mind. I thought, because I saw the red here. Is that supposed to be the blood? Like, maybe this... I don't know. I was like, maybe the injury is here, but it doesn't seem... No, this is her, yeah. It's not covered up by anything. I only thought, if my sorrow and hatred were thrown into a suitable flame, they'd eventually become the fire for life to go on. Sorrow and hatred. So you admit it, Lakshini. Your noble birches have only hurt you in the end. Where is your fire, sister? I can't put out your flames just like that. You mean the people in the city? You will die, but not now. Your flames will be extinguished at your funeral, at your fire returning ceremony. But still, you ought to be dispelling death with scorching flames, rather than holding the hand of the dead and confessing your own inner turmoil, your own regrets. Otherwise, you will only ever be as you are now, letting go of your chance to save everything. Your final chance. Hi, Galo, welcome in. Great moment to sneak in. Ooh. The noble red dragon loosens her grip in shock, and her sister's body drops to the ground, as cold as it was before her heart was pierced. It is not blood, but purple flames that roars from the wounds spanning her entire torso. It instantly floods the balcony and flows down the citadel. Oh. So it did get worse, maybe. I mean, it's about to, probably. The noble red dragon rushes over to the balcony, but the purple flames of death are even faster. Are we winning? I don't know. Not now, probably. Before her own flames can emit even the tiniest spark of light, the purple fire spreads across the city, burning the whole of Nassau Irsi. The last time she looked out from this very spot, the flames were scattered like stars in the sky. When she had returned earlier that day, they coated the whole city with a cold and gloomy hue. The readers are winning, Reed not so much. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. I don't know if I'm winning though. And now, Nassau Irsi itself burns fiercely, just like every other restless corpse she has seen. Well, well, it got worse. There you go. Why is hue and why is sky coated in it? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the next part. Let's see. One who burns the lamp. Let's see. Right in time, yeah, I guess so. I think so. Oh, hello, Reed. How far is County Hillock? Far? My sister must have known. Only the elocutionist and his band of idiots will consider this plan flawless. Then why are you still following me? Oh, believe me, if it were up to me, I'd be taking a nap in camp right about now. Why didn't my sister stop me? I don't know. Maybe she has high hopes for you. No, that's impossible. She never looked at me like that. When I agreed to be her shadow, she... Please, Harmony, tell her I don't want to do this. That you don't want to go to County Hillock? Mm-hmm. And if she's in a good mood, could you also tell her that, from now on, I'll... No, never mind. Fine, can't hurt to pass it along, I suppose. Although it's not easy avoiding the elocutionist, right? Yeah, eyes and ears. Thank you. You should go. Fade out. Before she gets bored.
Nope, and that was the note. No. Yeah, the emulator is going a little slow this time for some reason. It's weird. Harmony did not return until after they arrived at County Hillock. She knew what that meant. That night, when cannons roared and crystals bloomed, she lay on the streets of County Hillock, blood draining from her abdomen. She had not been afraid then. Instead, she felt relieved that she would die like any other person. But then she saw those purple flames on a tower not too far away. That was when she felt afraid. Afraid that the flames will overlook her and turn her into another puppet like those on the street. Overlook or overtake? Afraid that the flames will find her and bring her back, forcing her to remain a shadow. She gazed into the fire, trying to find some hint of her future in it, but saw nothing but apathy. That which she feared most had finally happened. The dead dragon lies on the ground. Behind the living dragon, the wayward wake woman suddenly understands it all. What? What does she understand? Oh, right. Right, we knew that. She deceived you. No, she didn't deceive anyone. She set this all up, knowing you would never allow the entire city to die with her. She baited you into piercing her vessel, freeing her from her bonds and allowing the fire to spread, burning us all to ashes on the eve of Samhain. Why will she take such a risk for a festival that she never cared about? I'm affected by the purple flames too. I can feel the flames of death burning in my chest, colder than ever. So cold, I'm growing number by the minute. It doesn't matter whether she's seeking dominion over all of Tara, or if she's simply gone mad and wants the city to die with her. It's neither. Tara already belongs to her. And she is very much lucid. She... Nemos, is her body still there? I'll go check. What, I want a reverse move? I guess so. Don't really understand. 4 chapters ago, are you fine being led your whole life, Nemos? Now, are you fine being led your whole life, Reed? The wayward wake woman's brow is furrowed. Perhaps she has never felt such malice in all her life, and as such has never harbored such resolve. Her body is... The sound of burning drowns out her answer. Whatever she's trying to do, Nazaris is not fully gone. The fire returning ceremony can still go on. It must go on. I am well aware. I'll inform the citizens that the wicked red dragon they worshipped is dead. What about Bridget? I've asked her to leave the city and find a wakeman. And how are you going to tell the people that Ivlana is dead? With a coffin. That seems appropriate. Even coffins are in short supply. But she is not some nameless body. Nobody. She deserves one. Is something wrong? No. I'm simply realizing how ugly the path she walked is. A path that even now waves at me uninvitingly. And it's an invitation I have no choice but to accept. Go, Animus. I will buy you some time. Where is our queen? Yeah, sorry, I was messing with the AC. For some reason, it seems to be stuck in a high setting. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Go, Nemos. I'll buy you some time. You mean from the Dark Mist? Yes. If it wants to be a part of the Samhain's festivities, I'll keep it at bay. I can hardly wait to ask the Mist how to return the Red Dragon's flame to darkness. Oh, again. I can hardly wait to ask the Mist how to return the Red Dragon's flame to darkness. How do you feel about that line? Now, the ending of the dragon and her reflection is clear enough. What the? The writer stands up with a start. Who are you and what do you want?
All I want is to finish the story that you will not. Didn't you say I was the type who liked to piece together the truth? We've gotten so very close to it.
That is enough. I'm leaving.
If you won't tell the ending yourself, I suppose it falls on me.
Okay. Excuse me.
Suddenly, someone opened their eyes, causing a surprised reflection to let go of her hand. The dragon fell into the fire burning bright, and the reflection hit back in the mirror. When the fire subsided, the dragon was gone, and the people were anxious, for they could not find their dragon. The reflection wanted to explain, find a way to bring their dragon back. Without the dragon, though, she could no longer leave the mirror. What do you think? You've been glancing over there at the newspapers, but not everything reported is a fact. The writer looks towards the door. He tries to imagine himself running out of the tavern, but it is such a preposterous proposition that he almost laughs out loud. If not everything reported is a fact, then he finally knows who this woman is and why she is here. He also knows that there is no escape. But there is something else he realizes. Perhaps this is his chance to truly find the ending he had hoped for. No matter who she is, as long as the story continues, they are equals. He feels his spirit returning. Okay, I don't care who you are or why you're here, but that's no way to tell a story. You haven't given it an ending. All you did was extend an endingless story. Yeah, pretty much. But I have to know, did you really see a red dragon kill another? In the same sense that you saw the hero drag a giant metal skeleton to the square? I created liberty, nothing more. Then take responsibility for it. So the dragon in the mirror accidentally caused her other self to burn to death in the fire. What next? What did the people do? What about the dragon in the mirror? What about you? Don't you have any ideas of your own? For the first time in a long while, the writer takes out a fountain pen from his pocket, then grabs one of the playing cards on the table. He tries to write something, but the tip of the pen has dried out from disuse. I need time. But if it can be connected, then maybe... Connected? Let me guess. You're talking about the last story that you published. The writer's pen scratches hard against the card. Finally, some ink oozes out of the tip. He is suddenly reminded of the words of Seamus Williams. May death connect us with all legends. Seamus Williams is dead, but he himself might, if he may be so impertinent, have a chance to be connected with the legends he wrote. He tries to scribble the poems on the card, but the pen leaves only broken, illegible ink trails. Just maybe... Yes? The writer sits back on his chair, his back even straighter than before. He suddenly feels an urge, the same one he felt after hearing a Seamus Williams poem for the first time. The same feeling that had taken him down this wretched path, which seized his chest and makes him want to sing, to yell, to create. You may have indeed solved the problem for me. As I said, what I've seen, what I believe, and what I've said all contradict one another. Thanks to you, though, they are finally beginning to converge. How lovely for you. Now, are you ready to start telling the third story? Of course, of course. But I'll need your help. You will need to pick up the narrative whenever I get stuck. This is my story, but it's also yours. It has always been yours. With pleasure. The writer's breathing is rapid, his face red. His fountain pen still refuses to write, so he throws it on the table. Yes, of course. Has he not seen enough of those things already? So what? He is a writer. He will soon find the ending of his story. Oh, there you go. Was that the no? No, that was the beginning. Yeah, that was the before. Okay.
Dang, it's moving pretty fast actually. I was not expecting it to move this fast. All is in yours. You have no idea, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Until her crown and her family were taken by her foes.
Her foes.
The mother had a powerful daughter, who then made a pact with the dark mist in the dark woods to drive out their foes. The daughter reclaimed the kingdom for her mother, returning the promised peace to the dark mist. The mother was to host a grand coronation for her daughter, but the daughter died mysteriously right before the event. Tremendous woe and then rage engulfed the mother. Her zeal to avenge her daughter was so fierce that the entire kingdom was scorched by her vengeful fire. Until that fury disturbed the dark mist, who had just returned to its resting peace. The dark mist demanded that the mother cease, or she would be dragged into the darkness. But in her grief, the mother remained convinced that the dark mist was the one who had taken her daughter. A desperate battle was then inevitable. The mother determined to risk her life.
The voice a little low. It sounded a little low on my end. No, it hasn't been said, God. Please. I have my suspicions, obviously, but yeah. Nemo's, read. Even if I knew, I prefer to let it go in the story. Like I don't wanna even think. Even if I knew, like even if when I do get spoiled stuff in the stories, I wanna play. I like to play it as if I don't know. It helps, you know. At the city gates, the nomad looks back at the citadel in the distance one last time. She resists the urge to turn tail and flee at the acrid burning smell. She knows what it signifies. She knows she should do as Nemo said, and leave the city to seek the wake men as quickly as possible, regardless of whether Lakshmi is successful. Talk about who writer is, but hasn't spoiled on who he talks to. I guess so, yeah. But despite the urgency in Nemo's voice, she did not sound like she believed things will take a turn for the better, nor did she believe that Bridget will convince the wakemen to come. Bridget could smell the same burning smell coming from Nemo's. It reminded her of the obsessions that only the dead could have. Oh. Who are you waiting for? Death? Are you just waiting for me to pat you on the back so you can have a nice little race together? Who is that? Oh, that's why it's, yeah, like low opacity. Oh, I forgot you could hear me. I can hear you. I can even sense your presence, but I can't see you. Leave the city, outsider. You're an outsider too, by the sound of it. Naturally. Consider it advice from one outsider to another. Leave, Bridget. Nothing is more important than being alive. The city will be dead by sunrise tomorrow. Listen to Nemo's. Find her kinsmen, run as fast as you can, and never look back. You're right, I shall go. But I will be back. Back? Huh. Stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary. You're going to come back after she tried so hard to get you out of here. So you also think it was just an excuse to keep me safe? What else could it be? You really think you can sway those woodbrains? Maybe you waited for spring. One of their brains will spout and they might be with you in the dark woods. So is he saying that he knew Bridget's ancestor, or that he is an ancestor of Bridget? I wonder. No, I'm assuming because she's a perro, right? I mean, it could happen, I guess, I imagine, but I'm assuming he knew her ancestor. That was my first thought, anyway. Obsessions only the dead could have. They be aura farming. You know, if there's a story that has a lot of aura, is Arknights stories. I will agree with that. At the very least, they do have hype moments and aura. I can't deny. Yeah, at their worst. They do. Knew her father when he drank to the air, we stood threw up as a dolphin. What else could it be? You really think you can sway those wood brains? If you waited for spring, one of their brains will sprout and they might come with you to the dark woods.
I don't like the way you talk, invisible brother.
What did you call me? Brother?
You have burnt stench, but other than that, you remind me of the nomads. No clue how you're related to us, but it feels right.
Let's make a bet then, Bridget.
A bet?
On whether you'll be back tonight, before now Saoirse is burned to the ground. I say it's impossible.
That's not what you really want to bet on.
No, yeah? Then tell me, what am really thinking? What am I really thinking? But okay, yeah. Oh boy.
You just want to prove that you're right, that nothing is more important than being alive. You think I'll choose survival in the end. But whatever, you're on.
Well, what are you waiting for then?
It just doesn't feel fair. If you win, I'll live the rest of my life in regret. But if I win, it doesn't really matter to a bystander like you. So how about this? If I win, you go back to where you came from.
And where do you think I should go back to?
No idea, but not here. This isn't your home. You sound like you've been betrayed by the city folk here before, but you still can't bring yourself to hurt them. You act like you want to see them reap what they sowed, but didn't sound happy at all when you talked about the city burning to the ground. Honestly, you're the most struggling person I ever met, and...
Enough! Expose, yeah.
His bloodchild can have either one of their parents' races. A 50-50. Okay, I was wondering about that. No, because, yeah, we learned about that in... I was gonna say Lone Trail. In Guide Ahead, yeah. That's why it sounded familiar. I mean, it was probably brought up in the past, but that's the... I mean, the most significant run because of the story, right? But, oh, cool. But I do, yeah, they might have mentioned it before.
Very well. If you win, I'll return to where I belong. But just coming back here to die won't cut it.
What else do you need me to do then?
Deliver a message to these wood brains outside the city. Tell them... It's been 600 years. Nobody's blaming you anymore. Go do your jobs. Oh, and one more thing. Ancient expletive. You stupid wood brains!
What?
Pass that on to those fools verbatim. Especially the filthier bits. Did you get all that? Need me to repeat myself? This is such a fun CG. That might be my favorite of the event so far.
Only Sancta are raised with 0% Sancta.
Yep, a bit different indeed.
No, the elders sometimes speak the language, so I understand it, more or less.
Then go. What are you waiting for?
Was all of that just so you could tell me this?
Just get moving already. The golden-haired gnome takes a deep breath and runs away from the city, exposed once again. Aura farming, yeah. Yes, dude, we see the fit. Excuse me.
Her ancestor, whose figure she never saw, stands in place, unmoving.
That stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary.
Oh.
So she is an ancestor of him? Oh, okay. He's very funny. Yeah, I almost wish. I mean, I'm assuming the come back to where you came means he will probably die at the end of this, or, you know, die again, I guess. But, I would love him as a recurring character, just showing up every now and then. But I mean, I guess the whole arc is done, so it wouldn't make sense for him to come back in any other capacity. Yeah. I pity the country she's gonna live in.
Nemus turns to leave, while Lakshini looks towards the dark woods. The sun has set beneath the horizon. Curfew is about to begin. In the distance, she sees the dark mist spreading from the forest towards Na Saoirse, thicker than ever.
Ooh.
Made it in time.
She raises her spear towards the mist outside, lighting a bright yellow spark in the city of purple. As though receiving some kind of message, the mist slowly rises until it is level with the flame at the tip of her spear.
Yes, come here, where it's warm and bright, where there's still life. Yes, over here. What? You want to pretend I don't exist again? I won't let you. This light will never go out, not until true darkness falls.
Well, what? Attracted by the flame in her hand, yet unable to approach, the mist begins to flow through the streets. Soon it returns, but this time her flame can neither draw or repel it. There is a cacophony within the mist. She feels as though everything has gone dark all of a sudden. For a moment when matchmaking worked and ping is stable. A dark mist has come. Is this your answer?
Yes, this is my answer. It is incomplete. It needs time.
Time is your enemy, not your friend.
We'll see about that. The deadly fires have not yet completely transformed the people into the walking dead. They are still alive. There is still time to return the flames. And you're not going anywhere until Nemo's awakens them.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous? Maybe. Maybe my strength, my wisdom and my arts are all so insignificant to you that it seems ridiculous. But I have my resolve.
Is this the answer of this world? Nemos drags the coffin through the corridor. The red dragon's remains do not burn. They simply lie there quietly. This is how death should be. But Nemo seems to hear an ethereal voice laughing in her ear. Without hesitation, the wayward wig woman lifts the limp body and tosses it into the coffin. So what was the point of it being not understandable when she said her body is still, and then it got like covered up by something? What was the point of that? Hey, welcome back, Mateo. Hello. Oh yeah, I got this here too.
This coffin, Red Dragon, is your final resting place. It's where those like you belong. So where are you now? Are you still watching us from somewhere, with that twisted smile of yours? But this vessel, that is beyond your reach. Otherwise you have burned me to ash by now.
No, it said her body is still, and then it like... there was like a dash, and then it said like unintelligible or something like that. So yeah, it was weird. But that's probably what they meant to write, but... yeah. Oh, okay. Alright, cool. I see. And the spear which never left your side, how many times have you breathed your flames from it? And how many others like Cullen have been your victims? You don't even know the answer, do you? With great effort, Nemo lifts the spear and thrusts it into the coffin. The spear too? We do a little bit of trolling, I guess. Flame from its tip engulfed the coffin in an instant, spreading along the rope connecting it to Nemo's, and merging with the purple fire on her. A deathly cold runs through Nemo's body, but she could hardly feel temperature at this point. You're mine now. I'll finish what Cullen started. Let's go, to those lowly despicable places that suffer from the war you stole victory in. You will be seen by all. Your death will be seen by all. They will know that you are dead, that the proud, imperious Red Dragon is dead. Here lies Evlana Dublinn, in this coffin covered in freezing flames. But what will they do then? I pray that your death will wake them up. Of course, Slugshini hope. But they'll know that the era you represented is over, and Nasa Irsi will escape the calamity. The Tara need not celebrate its rebirth with the death of a city. But... Your fire must have gotten to my head, Dragon. Why is that I suddenly feel like the other ending, where it all ends in destruction, isn't so bad?
Someone else may have killed you, but this is my revenge.
Yeah, no way. Some bodies do move and some don't. Ancient time problem. I mean, makes sense. With how long this has been going on. The coffin remains silent, and Nemo's no longer speaks. Silent, delirious, and determined, she drags the burning coffin down the stairs, making a point to let it hit each step on the way down. It sounds like the withered mockery of the dead. That's funny. This is my revenge, just throws her over the stairs, down the stairs. See ya. And then she just hears, wait, you were still alive. Let's see. Nemo's drags the coffin out of the citadel. Not a single soul is in the square with the statue. Curfew has begun, but she drags the red dragon's coffin over as the draconic flames burning within her own body. Wherever she goes, the darkness retreats. Once she moves on, it reoccupies the space. Cullen, I envy you. No one could have slept through you dragging that colossal statue, forcing them to come out to see what's going on. I won't let you rest in peace, bunk coffin on all steps, yeah. But what about me, Cullen? What am I supposed to do? Do I have to keep shouting, "The red dragon is dead," as I walk down the street? She lifts her head to meet the statue's eyes. The violent flames dancing within its pupils do not answer. She recalls the song she sung for the dead with the Wakemen all those years ago. Those from the city will also join in, if only for the first few lines. I hope you all remember the ancient ballads, Terrence. Ballads? So, Red Dragon, which song should I sing to announce your death? How about the blasphemous Tim Finn's wake? Would you enjoy a funeral where people get into fights, splash whiskey on your corpse, and then you wake up after smelling the alcohol? Forget it. No one wants you coming back to life. She casually sings another song that pops into her mind. The black crowds shroud the marshals and vales. The cold wind shrieks through the mountain hills. At crack of dawn I see a traveler who asks me the way to the gold field. The wayward wake woman. That's a mouthful. She sings with a hoarse voice, dragging the burning coffin towards every inhabited part of the city she's familiar with. The red dragon is dead. The red dragon is dead. Those shoes. Shut up. I'm trying to sleep. Hey, shut you up. I'm trying to sleep. Random shot from the Tarrant Street. Red boxes are fake. She stops at every house, making sure that the people's flames reflect in their windows, that the elegy is heard inside. The more she sings, the more intimately the flames envelop her body, overwhelming her sluggish senses and making every step feel like torturous labor. But it also lets her hear even the smallest snippets of speech from every window. Taran language classes, Kieran? That can possibly be free, right? At that price, well, it's doable, as long as we cut down on the wine. What? Bloody hell, Kieran! If I helped you more back then, could you have escaped the Victorians? Damn dark mist! If the red dragon won't drive it away, I'll do it myself. The black crowds shroud the marsh and vales. The cold wind shrieks through the mountain hills. At crack of dawn, I see a traveler who asks me the way to the golden field. What do you choose, Neo? Taran or wine? Or wine? Who is that? Nemos? What's he up to, singing in the middle of the night? And what's that she's dragging? That burns so bright. Okay, bars. More bars than Nemos? Darling, even if you want to help the Taran cause, surely you don't have to join the army.
Fine, I'll wait for you to come home. For the day we win our freedom. Finally some quiet. Going on and on about your hand hurts when your whole arm's already gone. And it's not like screaming about it is going to get you any medicine. If it was going to be like this, I wish to never come home. I'd rather spend my whole life missing you. I said to him, poor chap, even I don't know how far you have to go. But if you wish, I'll go with you for a bit, towards the golden field.
Isn't this a funeral song? Those purple flames. Who is it mourning? I mean, everything is purple flame, so I mean, I guess they can't see it. So, yeah. They would only see the coffin. Risha backstory. Astonished resident. What? The enemies have entered the woods and are right outside the city? I can sit back and do nothing. Nemos, where is the army recruiting? I'll take my weapons and go. There is neither light nor any voice behind this window.
Turn right and pass by the palace, cross the river of fine wine. I'll share a cup by the riverside before we return to the golden field road.
Okay, none of these rhymes. I don't know what kind of intonation it's supposed to be. Oh no.
Miss Nemos, will you be moving with Mr. Cullen after the war is over?
Oh.
No, I was hoping there'd be someone other than me to cook for him.
Dang.
Perhaps the most important thing to do before Her Highness returns is to repair the workshop door.
Whoops, click something else.
I hope you find that golden field, and a home in flames you'll never yield. I'm sure you won't hesitate then, and complete your trip to the golden field.
Yeah, I mean, the other people were talking in the present, unless, yeah, I'm assuming, based on, like, the first part was black and white, and then it was actually showing. So, yeah. I think only the kid was dead. Little plot device. A weak woman on the brink of death. What does she think she's going to rouse with these songs? When she can't even wake herself up. Well, whatever happens, Bridget. Oh, silly child of my distant bloodline. Don't come back. The city isn't worth your life. I guess dude does have favorites. With the dragons, he's like, yeah, do whatever you want. With her, he's like, don't come back. Please don't come back. Please survive.
You must walk towards the last street she has yet to visit. She has been through practically the entire city and heard the simmering restlessness behind every door, but none of them have opened. The wayward wake woman gradually loses her grasp on her senses as her voice grows weaker. She has sung every song she knows, even the blasphemous Tim Finn's Wake from start to finish. She has only one song left. She did not want to sing it, but now she has no other choice.
Hold on. This is what she's gonna start singing. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Wait, do I even have it? 1 second. Nope. Did you know? Oh, I didn't retweet it. I don't think I did. Hold on. It's gonna be... I don't know if it's gonna be funny, but it's gonna be... yeah. Okay, so I probably have it on my bookmarks. I don't know if that's gonna play the song. Hold on. This is taking way too long. You're taking too long. I started hearing on the back of my head. Why do I save so many things? Hold on, hold on. Oh, no, I'm way past it at this point. Wow, did I never save any of those? What the heck? What the heck? Oh no, I must have. I just saved way too many things. And I guess I didn't. Okay, let me just check if this one is it. Hold on. Hold on. Nope, not this one. Wait, did I already scroll past it? Oh, there it is. Is this it? Oh, yeah. There we go, there we go. That was worth it. Alright. Man, she actually starts. It's from Silk Song. There you go. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, calling to the mist of war. Okay, she doesn't know it, I guess. I trod upon the road, heading out to war. Ah, there you go. Country roads by that would have been good too. Nemo's dying resident. Emma, I almost couldn't recognize you. You're still... I'm not doing good, Nemo's. I'll be dead soon. I just want to lie in bed and stop breathing. My joints hurt, and my throat's burning. I'm even seeing people who aren't with us anymore. But I heard your song, and saw the coffin. I'm on death's door already, so I figured why not come and see. Where is the dark mist? Maybe in the forests, maybe in the city, maybe right behind us. I don't know, and I couldn't care. I don't care. I don't care either. One question, Nemo's. I need you to answer it before I can die in peace. Inside that coffin, is that truly a red dragon? Emma stands on her front porch, staggering, as if ready to collapse at any moment into a pile of kindling, to burn in despair and return to dust. I put her in the coffin myself. So proud of it. Why did she die? Who killed her? Who? This, I mean, obviously the design fits, but the expression doesn't really fit, I feel. She's smiling like, who? Emma's feeble but angry voice echoes down the empty streets. Who? 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 The echoes linger. Nemo turns around to look. The streets are empty, but she knows where the echoes are coming from. Behind every closed door is a pair of bloodshot eyes hidden away, just like the ones in Emma's face. Nemo turns again to look towards the towering citadel, where nothing remains within. Who? Yeah. You guys still want revenge? That's right. As long as we can move, we can avenge the red dragon. Well... See ya. Nemus turns away in despair. She stops singing her songs and merely hauls the coffin step by step towards the square. Wait, Nemus, wait. Okay. What the? How many times must I repeat myself, Mist? Ablana is dead. I killed her with my own hands. Her body lies in the coffin Nemus is now dragging through the city. The people must know she is dead and return her violent flames so their bodies will no longer burn. Well, it doesn't seem to be working so far, but yeah. Wishful thinking. She did not give those flames. She merely started the fire. Everything the red dragon promised will be lost because of you. Revenge on Taran priority pyramid is right above oxygen, yeah. It's a little further up. It was just a prank, bro, yeah. Just kidding. when she has a... When has she ever cared about honoring her promises? But if that's all that matters to you... Lokshini retreats, step by step, until there's no room for her to move any further. Only then does a fierce flame burst from her spear tip, melting the coldly lived vegetation. Now that only Red Dragon stands before you. Whatever she promised you, the only way you'll get it is through me. Do you hear the doors opening in the distance? You must have. Nemo's aside, the first resident to break curfew has already opened their door. So for their sake, as well as the hundreds more who will take the very same streets, you must remain here. Before my answer to Nassau Irsi is deemed a failure, before the people here are reduced to shambling corpses bent on tearing the dark mist apart, you have no right to take the lives of anyone trespassing in the dark.
What arrogance?
You call this arrogance? If Tara needs it, I can be far more arrogant than that. The Red Dragon speaks no more, and the flames of life burn brightly atop her spear. She steps forward with her back straight, no longer dodging the ice-cold branches, but allowing them to lace her body with bloodied scratches.
Begin the action, yeah! Let's go! Also sound effects.
The juxtaposition of the giant statue with the two tiny figures make them seem like ghosts. But somehow, Nemo's can also feel the presence of the others beside Emma. In fact, they seem to have crowded the square, as if the whole city is here. They are all watching and listening, lit up by the strange purple glow from their originium lamps. No, it is more than a glow. Their bodies are burning purple. The one who killed the Red Dragon is... Nemos knows they haven't changed a bit. They are still waiting for her to utter a name they can curse and then destroy. Or maybe they will even destroy themselves. Lakshini? No one will believe there were actually two Red Dragons. Who else then? Who else could possibly kill the dragon who seemed to toy with life and death? Before she can stop herself, she has a thought. Why not just say it was the Dark Mist or the Victorians? Revenge, indeed. Let these lunatics dash into the mist and die in the Red Dragon's name. Let them fulfill their desire for vengeance, and let this violent city die. It was born in disgrace. Let it die in madness. Yes, die. Let everyone who stayed perish, just like those who left and went into the dark mist. It was dark. I as the third option. Or fourth, whatever, yeah. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, calling to the mist of horror. Nemos turns to look at the colossal dragon skeleton sculpture, and recalls that recent evening, awash with confusion and sorrow. What was he thinking, the man who dragged this statue into the square? What song was he singing in his heart? Was it the song they taught Theo when they rescued him? What feels like centuries ago? I guess, yeah, a safe option. At this moment, the last bit of her sanity snatches the answers from the fiery clutches of her rage. The answers that have been fluttering around since the very beginning of the story. The answer to the Red Dragon, to the sisters, to the mirror and reflection, and to the flames of life and death. Cullen. If it wasn't you to throw his life away protecting these people, the one who killed the Red Dragon is no one other than the Red Dragon. It was herself. The woman before Nemo stares at her blankly, as if she did not hear her words. Straining her entire being, Nemo yells at the whole city. The Red Dragon killed herself! She never intended to light the flames within your bodies, but she did not want you to burn into cinders, so she offered her own life instead. To protect you from death. And yet... must you exact a fruitless revenge? Must you destroy everything she gave her life for? The city falls silent as purple flames flicker, leaving only the dark mist lingering restlessly at the gates, as if waiting for its hesitant prey to step into its domain. You're saying she killed herself, so we wouldn't exact revenge? Then What do we do now? That was our only option. Yeah, no, I don't know, just sleep? Play a game, get some cards out. The onslaught of questions from the residents sends Nemo's head spinning. Bloodshot eyes that did not shut from news of the dead instead ask her questions. Grinding teeth that did not relax from news of the death instead ask her questions. Did I read that again? Oh, bloodshot eyes, grinding teeth, okay. Clenched fists that did not open from the news of the death instead ask her questions. Silence, tension, confusion. Smile. But I want to stab, yeah. Eat, right? Maybe? Oxygen, speaking of. Their revenge was rejected, overruled by the Red Dragon. So where will their sorrow go now? Niels, my unborn child. The Red Dragon. Someone, tell me. Emma? If even revenge is out of my hands, then what else can I do? I have nothing else. The wars took everything from me. How am I supposed to live on? Tell me, Niels. Tell me, Red Dragon. Anyone, just tell me quickly. How am I supposed to live on? Or should I go to you instead? Emma, no. Isn't this the only path left for me? Gradually approaching voice. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, calling to the mist of war. Niels, is that you? Are you finally back? Huh? Oh, there she is. Yo! I trod upon the road, heading out to war. No pipes a singing, nor battle drums a roar. Only the bells behind me, through dew and fog the rings do roar. Roar, sir. Stop singing! What am I fighting for? That song snatched Niels away from me. Why would you sing that song, Nomad? Emma seems lost to madness, until a soft voice sings the same tune, but with different lyrics. The night-blind laborer is led by a wake woman as they slowly walk into the square. Again through the dark woods. I said stop singing that. Wait, again? It may be presumptuous, but I tried writing a new verse to the song, because I don't want our brave loved ones to leave us, to never to see us again, to be eternally lost in the mist, just like we are. Again through the dark woods, parting the midst of war, where gallant dearly departed, my heart so sad and sore. And so in my dreams I go, lighting bonfires in the woods, not to reunite, but to light the path you trod with fog and dew. Not to reunite, but to light the path you trod? A tear trickles from Emma's eyes, streaking across her sallow face? Yeah, I mean, very like sad face or something like that. Yeah. Return to your flames and the blessing of the Red Dragon. Return the flames? If I return this blessing, this fire back to her, will it light up her path? Returning it, and the wandering departed will also return to the flames and rest in peace. No, I don't want that. I just want to see him again. If you die as you are, you will only ever brush past each other in the fog, again and again. Then, what should I do? Live on. He chose to walk into the mist so he wouldn't need to be lost within it as well. Return to the fires to light this path, and then let the years pass. Let life begin anew. And when your hair is white, and he learns his wish was fulfilled, only then will you meet again. The woman buries her face in her hands as she kneels to the ground, tears streaming down her fingers. Moran hands her a candle. The candle flame turns purple the moment she takes it between sobs. Oh, cool. Cool visual. Even a small candle can kindle the flame. The wakemen and refugees slowly sing their way through the city, like a tiny stream left behind after a night of rain. It is by no means a clear stream, not a turbulent one. It is a miserable, muddy trickle flowing down centuries of painful history, carrying dust and blood, and about to drown dry. But it is this murky bitterness that reveals the city's true self in the gloomy night. Nights of falling asleep gripping old photos, mornings awakened by phantom pain from amputated limbs. Now empty houses fell to ruin, while those fortunate enough to return home were greeted only by orphan dolls scattered across dusty floors. The doors are opening? They are. People flood into the streets like a burst dam, pouring into the square. Some leave their homes with candles in hand, while many more follow Emma's lead and take one from the wake woman. The flames still burn purple, but seem to have softened and bear a bit of warmth. Finally. Place the red dragon's coffin at the statue's base, Nemos. It seems Nasa Irsi will witness a grand fire-returning ceremony tonight. You shall be the first, Nemos. Me? But this is her funeral, so... Are you sure? It is more than just hers, is it not? The wake woman looks around, trying to pinpoint the shadow of a stranger. But even if the ghost wasn't trying to hide from her, she has no way of hearing the long overdue words of forgiveness from his mouth. Now we're even, Woodbrains. Nemos takes a candle from the wake woman and bows before the burning coffin beneath the dragon statue. Rest in peace. She deliberately neglects to mention the name of the departed. She places the candle before the coffin, no longer able to hold her tears from crashing into the flames. Violet fire instantly rises up into the sky, spreading from the coffin to the entire statue. The entire sculpture is set ablaze. Whoa, cool. The crowd place their candles down beside the statue and return the purple flames to the one who granted them their hue. Some are silent and some call the red dragon's name, but many more chant the most precious things they had lost in the war. Tears fall like rain. The suppressed, the promised, the twisted, the incited. Tears wash away the flickering, hollow pageantry, revealing only the sorrow of lives crushed to bits. Crude, sharp, turbid, and stuck in their throats. Only now does their sorrow manage to cry out. The rain of tears converges into the streams of songs, pulling around the statue as the raging blaze evaporates it all, until even the citadel behind the square is engulfed in flames. As I said, this is my answer. The mist does not reply, but after a long time, Lakshmi hears a deep sigh. You made this choice yourself. Oh. You leaving? What happened? Don't want to ruin the moment, but it was so funny Falcon started singing, "It's not fair." You know, yeah, maybe once they're done grieving, you know. We'll have a whole party. I mean, it is the festival, right? So maybe maybe not now, but maybe tomorrow. The dark mist dissipates like awakening from a dream, and Lakshmi sees real black clouds above her. She heads towards the square. She goes to return fire to the death. Wait, so is she going to show herself as a dragon, or? She walks the whole way from the city gates to the square. Every living resident is gathered before the burning statue. The soaring purple flames have already taken over one side of the citadel. No one is able to approach, so Lakshmi gets all the space she could want. It should work from here too. Evelana, may Tara never need your flames again. A small blossom of fire flies from Lakshmi's palm. She does not know if this conforms to funerary tradition. It is simply an act of instinct. The bright yellow flower flutters into the purple blaze. Lakshmi stands quietly, as the other fire returners have done. Fake red dragon among us. But the fire does not die out. Ooh. The purple fire still lights up half the sky until everyone has returned their flames, though the original lamps on their waist remain an ice-cold violet. Lakshmi finally realizes that at some point the giant dragon, still aflame, has stopped right before her. She meets its eyes, Evelana's eyes. Still not giving up, Evelana? Very well then, I'll play along with you. One last time. Lakshmi's spear tip flares up as the giant dragon flaps its wings and charges towards her. Oh, that's how we get to the boss. Cool. There you go. I didn't even read the description. Yeah. Yes, inflicts the burn damage. Yeah. Oh, last dance. Should have known. So that's the actual second phase. It's cool. I don't know. I like that boss fight. I haven't done the EX, so that opinion might change. But at least for this one, I like it. Oh. Alright. Victoria. Does that mean you used Evelana to defeat Evelana? Indeed we did. You're right. Oh, hi Brigadier. Your Highness, the singer has just sent word that the elocutionist and the rest have taken Lakshmi. They are on their way to County Hillock. I see. He only sent news after our troops left, and the leader has already sent out for County Hillock. He seemed to want to avoid offending the elocutionist and his group, but also to avoid accusations of concealing information. I'm the only one who can defeat me. I mean, yeah, that's kinda how it went. What should we do with him? Dublinn has never needed him to be our eyes. No one is counting on him for this. My utmost apologies. I take full responsibility. I assumed they were heading towards County Hillock on orders. I never imagined they dared to take Lakshmi. But they haven't gotten far, so we can still catch up if we set off now. Your Highness, I bring news from your sister. She hopes you can curb the elocutionist and his men from acting rashly and bring her back. She said that herself? That's right. I'll mobilize the troops at once. Hold on. Your Highness, we should stop them as soon as possible. Also, I don't want to go to County Hillock, straight from the dragon's mouth. If that is truly her desire, then she ought to realize it with her own hands. It will be no difficult task with her flames. Has she not already sentenced quite a few to death in the name of the leader? Tell her this. If this is what she wants, she can do it herself. No, there's no need for even that. Your Highness, if I may be so bold, she is your... my sister? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Okay. The giant dragon flaps its steel wings, steering up a flaming vortex, but Lakshmi does not waver. She stabs her spear firmly in its eye socket. Still unable to commit to killing me, Lakshmi. Gradually, the red dragon's voice overlaps with Evelana's, and eventually even its body becomes hers. The scenery around them changes swiftly, just like that night in the ruins with Lavratak. What is this, another creative? Oh. Oh, there she is. I just don't know. Oh, is this the boss theme from the previous event? Yeah. Cool. What exactly do you want? You deceived me and lied to so many. All for what? For the city to be buried alongside you? To become the next legendary King Gale? I never lied to you. And why should I believe you? What exactly is now so easy to you? What about Tara? I had always believed we shared the same dream, so why do you seem completely different now? Or will dreams eventually become a card for you to play in your mad pursuit of power? One that you'll inevitably grow bored of, just like
just like Lakshmi back in County Hillock. County Hillock? I saw no desire to return to me. What? I saw no desire to return to me in your eyes back then. Only relief. Was I mistaken? Though I was struck sick of it back in County Hillock. With my flames, I can mold anything. I can mold anything I want into any shape I want. Everything except my reflection in the mirror. No matter how large a blaze I stoked, she wouldn't change one bit. Because I've never burned her directly. Because I've never burned you directly. I've only ever waited. I've always been waiting. Waiting for you to give me an answer. An answer?
Oh.
What about you, Lakshmi? What do you want? Yes, it's good that your blood and your upbringing have you carry yourself high. But if you want for nothing, then what sort of position am I meant to leave by my side for you? Go on. This is your wish on a snowy night. I'll let you aspire as grand as you want.
Right.
True, but you never used your flames on me. But only because you had other tools more suited for the task. Fear, duty, guilt, sympathy. You've never asked me directly to change, but you've done so indirectly countless times. So all my attempts to guide you were useless, yet my apathy bore fruit? How terribly ironic. Whatever the case, you've finally returned of your own will, ready to embrace a real life. That is enough. Conspiracies, lust for power, war, is that what you'd call a real life? Is it not? Stories, poems, legends, do you think those are enough to constitute a life worthy of you or I? I know. I've always been ashamed of myself. Even now I hate myself for not sharing your suffering. I was the one who left, forcing you to shoulder it out all on your own, letting them mold you into who you are now. No, Lakshmi. Recently, I've been wondering if you're as arrogant as I am. The only difference is that my arrogance is directed at the land, while yours is focused solely on me. What? Conspiracies, lust for power, war. Why do you assume those are what shaped me? They have never changed me. They simply happened to take on a form I was able to will with ease, nothing more. The tiniest bit of power can decide whether one lives or dies. Even more power can decide the fate of armies, and an overwhelming amount can decide the rise and fall of nations. But power comes to an end. The poets have always known this, and I think you do too. Am I wrong, Lakshmi? Death mocks all equally, preparing a predestined end for those who crave power, ruthlessly snatching away everything they spend their whole lives chasing. So if you knew your path would come to naught, why did you still...
The planet backs away as the giant steel-forged dragon follows suit. Is it escaping or trying to hide?
Lakshmi subconsciously eases her fire, but in the next moment bites down on her lip and abruptly increases her strength, pushing Ablana forward. Very good. At least you have learned the most fundamental thing required for a life without me. Cruelty. Determination.
Ayo.
If you have decided that this path is your life, then step forward and never look back. You should be telling that to the people of Nassau Irsi. Let me finish. Death mocks all equally, yet I shall mock death. So bless me, dear sister, for I am finally about to embark on a grand adventure.
Ablana retreats again and again, the smile on her face fainter than ever. Determination, yeah. The sensation in Lakshmi's arms of piercing through steel gradually lessens, until it feels as smooth as a stroke through a body, then as hollow as running a spear through flame. Oh. Cool.
Death mocks all equally, yet I shall mock death.
That's great. until an immense force like the final flash of a dying light erupts from her spear tip, pulling Lakshmi towards the other side. Ice-cold flames wrap around her body, and she suddenly realizes that she now stands at the entrance of the citadel, on Red Dragon Square, right in the middle of the fire-returning rite. Or perhaps the dragon skeleton she's currently entangled with merely returned to its original position and took the chance to pull her, with her firm grip on her spear, into the core of the funeral flames. Do you still wish to get away from me, Lakshmi? Oh. Light shoots out from Lakshmi's spear, brighter than ever. In a flash, she feels a burning sensation, as painful as her internal organs rupturing repeatedly. The flames of life burst and fade in the center of death again and again, until her weapon can no longer stand her overloaded darts and bursts aflame as well. The dragon's bones crash and collide with each other, like thousands of mouths singing their separate elegies. All in her mind? There is some meta stuff going on, right? Because also this is still the tale, right, that they are telling, so who knows what actually went down at this point. The flames slowly grow warmer as Eblana's figure gradually fades. Lakshmi's lips quiver, itching to say words of farewell. In her heart, she scans every body she has read, yet is unable to recall an appropriate line. Before she dissipates, Eblana slowly cradles Lakshmi in an embrace. Farewell. Till death do us meet again. I hope you enjoy my parting gift. Parting gift? All the flowers. Oh. Oh. Excuse me. It's a perfect copy of me that you can use in stages. What? I don't want this. The mourners in the square are completely oblivious to what is occurring within the flames. There is a Gambivia. All they see is a fire growing taller and stronger, now covering the pedestal, the coffin, the dragon sculpture, the citadel, yet continuing to ascend. The flames distort the dragon's figure. They can no longer tell whether it is flapping its wings in flight, in a death match with some unseen foe, or crying out in anguish with its head run through. Everyone is silent, trying to identify this posture in the firelight, but all is in vain. Until Bridget cries out in surprise. Oh, there we go. A little glitchy, but yeah. The fire changed color. The fire changed color. Strong wind rising up from the ground turns the sky searing purple flames into a maelstrom, and at the bottom where the coffin lies arises a small but scorching sun. The entire deep purple vortex seems to light up, emitting a shining yellow from the bottom to the top. Everyone near the bonfire backs away. The flames suddenly bear warmth, nearly burning them. The rising heat dissipates, evaporating even the stream of sorrow. Perhaps a miracle is about to occur. This is the only thought on anyone's mind. So... Oh. A miracle, when I have no choice but to accept for Tara. Is this the parting gift you prepared for me, sister? Eblana is undeniably dead. She cannot answer. Lakshmi tries to recall their hug, the expectations met, a pinch of warmth and cold calculations. What were the proportions of each in that embrace? Or maybe all those things were inseparable to Eblana. You were right, Eblana. If this was your ultimate goal, if you insist on laying this bloodstained crown atop my head, then yes. Slan Availe. Until death, we shan't meet again. Cool. The flaming vortex exhales and dissipates. The red dragon, the one who led the Terrans through the long night, steps forth from the statue's center towards the entirety of Na Sawirsi. Her expression is blurred by flame, yet her figure is as solid as the ever-persistent life on the land. One step, then another. Her feet step over the coffin still burning in purple embers. There is no body within, only the familiar flame-spewing spear of the leader. The crowd holds their breath, and the square falls silent, as if they stand outside a hospital's delivery room, or perhaps a cemetery after the last shovel of soil has been heaped into a grave. Only a dancing flame remains, without rest. Only dancing flames remain. I can forgive everything you've done to me, Yablana, but not this parting gift. Never. From past to present, your name will sink into oblivion, alongside the countless names who built Tara. The only red dragon of Tara will be Lakshini Dublinn. I have returned. The red dragon who led you in the fight against Victoria, in the fight for independence and freedom. Lakshini Dublinn is back from the abyss of death. I tried to quench the flames upon you all, but the rain of tears you shed for me extinguished that fire, allowing me to return from the abyss. This time, though, I will not drive you to your deaths. Our grand undertaking is complete. Never again will there be cause for countless Terrans to offer up their lives and leave us only ruins and wailing. I pray with all my heart that every Terran will be able to curb their own flames that came from slavery, from oppression, from humiliation, from sorrow that never died out, not for thousands of years. I neither need nor expect you to forget. I only hope that you can do as our ancestors did, and let those flames become your lamp. A lamp that warms yourself, and then... cancel the plan. Illuminate the path for us all, so we can truly laugh, sing, and live in our homeland. A bright, yet gentle light. I mean, that is messed up, yeah, just forcing her into a position of power. It's like, I don't want this. Someone was making a point that maybe elections will be... maybe they shouldn't be elections, and maybe it should just be randomized. It's like, huh, well... Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Well, the crowd is still mulling over her words. I guess it wasn't random in this case, but, you know. Someone who doesn't... giving it to someone who doesn't want it. While the crowd is still mulling over her words, one of the residents suddenly cries out in pain. Ugh! Why is the burn on my hand suddenly hurting? Wait, the colors of all your lamps. Even my own changed colors. Those are the lines the red dragon hopes you will carry to warm yourselves. Purple fire belongs only to the dead, yet we unwittingly let our own flames be dyed its color through overwhelmingly... Purple fire belongs only to the dead, yet we unwittingly let our own flames be dyed its color through overwhelming death and loss. Speaking of mouthfuls. But we mistook that fire for a blessing, and allowed ourselves to be dragged towards the abyss. If the red dragon hadn't killed herself tonight, and we hadn't managed to return her flames, we could have all been dead by now, turned into walking corpses. To extinguish the flames of death in ourselves. You said that's why she killed herself? Yeah, I think it has to be something related to the story, right? There has to be some creative liberties that have been taken so far. I assume so, anyway. The sense of guilt that had crept up on Emos after the purple flames vanished leaves her unable to reply. She only nods slightly. Then she feels a sudden chill on her face. It was a drop of water. Emos lifts her head and looks to the distant night sky. More look up as the damp raindrops spell their faces, gently washing their tears away. It is raining. Are you saying this is... the place where it's raining? Where did I see something? I was like, yo, this is... I was gonna make a joke like this is my favorite trilogy. And it was mentioned in some other... Maybe it was mentioned in the previous part also. And I was like... Oh, maybe I was thinking of Syracuse, you know, because it was always raining. I was gonna make a post like, this is my favorite trilogy. Or trilogy. Undertale, the place where or it's raining somewhere else. Arknights, it's raining here. Deltarune, the place where it rained. What if it's all just fiction? Yeah, could very well be. On Samhain's Eve, the rain falls, heavier and heavier, but the crowd still remains in the square. They wish to thank the Red Dragon for returning their lives, for separating life from death. But the dragon tells everyone she will remain here until everyone returns home to rest. So the people gradually disperse, and eventually even the wakemen and refugees bid goodbye to the dragon. They worry that some of the dead who have not returned their fire yet will gather around the ruins, although that worry is unfounded. Avlana closes the book, but of course, that is just a theory. A war, Grand Fury! Thanks for watching. By the time the sun rises, no longer will there be any wandering dead on Terran soil. Amid sobs, Nemo's bids goodbye to the dragon as well. The next day, she will wake up early to collect bricks from all over town to make a new door for Cullen's workshop. The huge square empties out, leaving only a red dragon and a nomad. Well, all's well that ends well, am I right? I made that joke last stream too. Just make the door maker. Where are you off to next, Bridget? Not sure there's anywhere to go, really. All I've ever done is pass on messages or report on coming catastrophes. I think they will replace my job, though. What are they called again? Catastrophe messengers? They've been less and less of us nomads anyhow, so I guess I'm glad someone will carry on the work at least. You shall try contacting Rhodes Island. What's that? A pharmaceutical company? Yeah. They're good people. You'll have to look for their headquarters. It's a land ship. I'll write them a letter tomorrow, and I was hoping you could deliver it for me. I think you'll like the place. But for tonight, you ought to rest inside the fort. We can't have you sleeping in a tent with all this rain. Let's head to the Citadel gates first. Yeah, I think Bridget was easily my favorite character in this event. The two of them slowly make their way towards the Citadel. The downpour continues. Downpour? Rain World? Ayo? Oh no, it was Rain World. Yeah, I was gonna do... This is my favorite trilogy. Yeah, Undertale, Rain World, Deltarune. Right. Oops. You seem like a skilled fighter. They could use you. Why does a pharmaceutical company need a fighter? Yeah. Rip gave us an ad rip. Yeah, pretty much. They probably give them pamphlets to the people who leave Rhodes Island to like recruit other people. She just has it memorized. Good job, Reed. Recruit more mid-shields until a Warcrime pyramid scheme. Yeah. Rhodes Island mentioned. Yeah, King is living. The downpour continues, and the fire on the sculpture is nearly extinguished. Only a faint flame of indistinct color flickers in the dragon's eye sockets. They suddenly hear a voice from behind. Oh, there we go. Stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary, I'm telling you. How can someone forget their own pet? Is there someone still in the square? It's that invisible brother of mine. He made a bet with me. Invisible? Don't turn around, Lakshini. He's a wee bit awkward, that one. No fan of being seen, I'm sure. Yeah, I was thinking that he was just gonna let go and leave. I don't know. Are you gonna live into the dragon, or are you gonna live in the city? Because, I mean, that's where you originated from, right? Technically. This Sam Wayne was sponsored by Rhode Island Pharmaceuticals. Yeah. Huh. Oh. Looking at the flickering flame in the dragon's eyes, Levertag recalls a time centuries past, when Ailil was still a lad with a cracking voice, while his own beard had just started to sprout. Oh, it's daytime, I guess. Or no, it's the past, right? Maigret, the Exquisite, was promoting everything Victorian in the royal capital, and ultimately even banned the favorite custom for Terran commoners, placing bets. That day, Levertag had exploded in an argument with his mother, with an unprecedented level of rage. Afterwards, his mother ordered him to fast and reflect, but Ailil sneaked into his brother's bedroom with a big piece of steak for him. The brothers blew out every light in the room and merrily gorged themselves, even licking their fingers clean. Enough stubbornness. Soon everyone in the capital will be a Victorian, Ailil said. Levertag stroked his still soft beard and merely shook his head. He asked, "Then why not make a bet with me? Once mother's gone, not a soul will willingly continue pretending they're Victorian." "Fine," Ailil replied. Yeah, this is a cool OST. We have so many royalties in RI, yeah. Friston, yes, Colseed, collect more, unite them, yeah. The older brother burst into laughter. What's on the table then? What'd make a good wager? Why not the crown? If you win, I'll never set foot in the palace for the rest of my life. No, I'll wager anything but that. Ailil had refused. It was I who insisted on having it my way, half as a joke, and half hungry for a gamble. I nearly put him in tears, didn't I? Yes, because Ailil was always the type to give in. He'd definitely agree. And so, in the end, he said, "All right, if you go, then never come back." Afterwards, I ended up leaving the palace, wondering for years as Ailil spent that time unhappy in the capital. I heard that after losing half his men in the court, Ailil was controlled by not even Victorians, but Terran nobles speaking with Victorian accents. Tara love Gamba, sure do, yeah. Still do, probably. Oh. You lost, Levertag. No matter how homesick you are, you've spent far too long on this family visit. Not to mention you're just a pathetic shadow cast by firelight. Man, you have your own road to walk. No more breaking promises. Right, just like that, take out that purple fire from the stab wound on your chest. And now, return it to the dragon who walked the same path you did. Ah. The exiled king's face twists from pain, but nevertheless he extends his arm bit by bit towards the eye of the skeleton. Let's see, Ailil. Is this your blades? Can phantoms also feel pain? Can they shed tears of anguish? Or is it merely the rain dripping through him as his body fades to nothingness? Narrating your own death is something, yeah. When you unwittingly ruin you and your brother's life as a joke, yeah. Like, really? It started from there? Damn. He can no longer tell. I guess they took the gambles very seriously. Or perhaps the flame of your good descendant here. Levertag. Lakshmi snaps around, but there is no sign of anyone else in the square. Only the purple fire in the red dragon's eyes. It flares up a split second, before the rain extinguishes it completely. Red dragons sure make a lot of whoopsie. Yeah, they're just silly little guys that have way too much power for their own good. But anyway, it's the end. Back cover. A story repeated countless times is what becomes history. Reed had this distinct coward face. Oh. Oh. Oh, right, this is the woman speaking. Just before the mother engaged the dark mist, the wake man of the woods came to remind her that she had yet to do that which was most important, hold a proper funeral for her daughter. The mother had intended to fight the dark mist to the death, but tears began to stream down her face when the wake man sang their ancient song, and she chose to follow tradition and hold a wake for her daughter. All through the night, she cried at the purple bonfire representing her daughter's soul. The downpour of tears quenched the fire burning through the city, nearly extinguishing even the purple funeral fire. When the wake man once again asked the mother if she will still fight the dark mist to the death, she gazed upon the smoldering bonfire with tears on her face, saying, "I cannot abandon my kingdom's people." As she said those words, the feeble purple flames suddenly turned bright yellow. Her daughter rose from death and walked out of the flames, and mother and daughter embraced each other. Yep, time to find out the truth, hopefully. So ends the story. Not in fragments, but a true ending. Congratulations, we've pieced together the truth. And what a happy ending. This is all thanks to you. Come, let us toast, and I'll write this all down and publish it for... Well, publishing it may be a challenge, but now that it's complete... The funeral, the bonfire, the resurrection. You saw everything. I never expected you to find the courage to return to Nassau Irsi. Singer. Oh, there you go. And it was a lovely ending, wasn't it? Evelana departed with the death, never to return. As for you, Your Highness Lokshini, I dedicate this story to you. Whether to publish it, seal it away, or have it fade into obscurity along with the remnants of Dublin like me, it's all up to you. Oh, pause. How wonderful. I almost regret allowing you to belittle yourself with a title like the singer. You... Wait, what? You're not Lokshini. You're... Evelana? Dude. So it was Reed, or not? It's all I covered. Yeah, I was thinking when she was talking about... Because she said, yeah, you take my place. So I was like, oh, then you take her place, right? So it makes sense. Down to the fact of her being recruited to Rhodes Island. Makes sense. The last Texas never existed. Yeah, in a way. The once singer swings his arms fiercely, spilling his drink on the table. You're dead! You can't be alive! You were killed twice! Once by a spear and once by fire. You shouldn't be here. Or am I dead? This isn't funny. You're dead, Red Dragon. Go back to where you belong. I see. That's it. It was all a lie. You never died. You killed Lokshini instead. It was all a trick, an illusion. If so, what becomes of your story? My story? If I speak, never mind. Have you calmed down? You shouldn't be alive. No. Has death ever been an eternal sleep for me? What I could do with life, I can do with death. Right. As a reward for completing the story, writer, let me tell you one thing. All that matters is fire. The purple fire. The purple fire from your story. It may seem ethereal, but it is no fiction. It is true that, over the long course of the war, I shared too much of my flame with others, and became weak, feeble. But fire spreads, fire consumes, fire grows. After the battle with an Axeter on the Gastrel, I needed to take back the flames I had given away, which had been growing in the plains,
in the ruins, in the hearts of the people.
You wanted it repaid, with interest.
Taxation is the most basic authority of a monarch. Mundane kings collect blood taxes to nurture their armies, to bring over land and people that will last mere centuries at most. I collected blood taxes to pave a road between life and death, with the red dragon's flame, so that all those caught in between will look up to me.
The ravings of a madwoman.
No doubt it sounds that way to you, for you cannot fathom what happens when enough death to consume a nation is returned to its master. 1,000 years of anger, sorrow, and hatred converged on me all at once. Did you think they would let my flesh and spirit fade away so easily?
A slave to hatred. What a fitting end for you.
Have you already forgotten what I said in your story? Everyone and everything that thought they could mold me just happened to take on a form I was able to wield with ease. Were I truly their slave, you'd have been ash the moment I saw you.
You lunatic! That's why you allowed Wellington to station his troops in the dark woods, to blockade the city, even continue the curfew. You never intended to spare Nassau Irsi.
Why, thank you for finally being willing to shed light on an unpleasant truth of the Dark Mist and Wellington. Does the Battle of Silver Bluffs, which you witnessed from the deck of the Gastriel, still haunts you in your alcohol-fueled dreams? It's never left you, has it? Why else would you be so obsessed with depicting the mist dangling above people's heads, yet so loath to define it? The curfew was justified at first. There were still Victorian spies in Nassau Irsi at the time indeed. The Duke of Wellington stepped up the blockade when Lokshini entered the city, because he wanted to smother any possibilities of news leaking about the two red dragons.
And the food that disappeared then came back on its own. The Brigadier was more than just your own trusted lieutenant. He was also captain of Wellington's Red Steel Guard. When he went to ask for supplies, Wellington acquiesced.
Ah. Nesselin really messed her up, yeah.
Yeah, Nesselin kinda messed everyone up, right? Everyone he encountered. Aside from the Iron Duke, I guess. Somehow.
I told you I will mug that.
I had a failed prescription check.
Wellington simply became disappointed in Lakshmi when she left Nassau Irsi to see the Wakeman. That's all. You should thank her, really. You'd never have escaped the woods if Wellington hadn't relaxed the blockade out of disappointment. As for the victory party you were so afraid to describe, don't tell me you really glorified it into a fairy tale in your memories.
Of course not. What happened to the Dubliners who weren't willing to give up their power? The ones you took away on a pretext?
They were swallowed by the dark mist, as you put it. Quite literally.
But Lakshmi still managed to make up her mind and killed you. And Wellington didn't follow your ridiculous orders. Suppose I believe that your arrogant purple fire left you a vessel. What do you plan to do with it? Lead an army of the dead to retake Tara? I won't help you. No living soul will. And your dead friends can go straight to hell.
Indeed. You were never suited to be Dublin's singer. You cling to what you see and believe. When the two could no longer be reconciled, you chose self-destruction rather than to give up on either. But do you really imagine that everything has gone the way you think?
Well, are we gonna go back and see how it actually went? The disappointment, you make a blockade but no one tries to leave in the first place. Like, oh man. Solemn servant. A letter, your grace. You may enter. Is it urgent? No, ma'am. But look at the seal. It corresponds to no emblem on record for the past 50 years. Tara? The Duke of Castor scrutinizes what the servant is holding. On the edge of the envelope is an emblem excavated from the dust of history. The young have never seen it, while the old have forgotten it. Only those forced to keep an eye on history remember its source. Oh, that's right, yeah, after their encounter. Yeah, Nessa them did mess him up still. Yeah, the battleship specifically. Yeah. Consider recruited an ever-growing undead, untiring army to fight seaborne collapsals. Yeah, maybe that's what this is building up to. The Force to keep an eye on history, yeah.
We are uncertain whether it is the mark of Tara or of King Gale. I never took you for a scholar of heraldry. That was not my intention. It is enough that we know that what it signifies.
To the Duke of Castor.
Open it and read it out loud. Not too quickly. Yes, ma'am. There is no greeting.
Okay. Oh.
Your previous letter was received. The response was delayed as the time was not yet ripe. Now it is. From this day forth, martial law is hereby lifted in Asawirsi and the surrounding lands south of the Grey Hills.
Oh, okay. Extra! Read all about it! Martial law to be lifted at midnight across all of Tara. At midnight, across all Tara. Publishing restrictions lifted. The art community rejoices. Read more on page 2.
Finally, now we can call this a proper tavern.
Here, with the curfew lifted, you can drink all through the night. Besides, it's my birthday. Drinks are on the house.
Really?
You sure about this? There are enough people in the city to drink you out of the house and home. Worry about yourself. Look at you, rich boy, leaving your lamp on in the middle of the day. I was just so busy I forgot. It's been warm lately, so I've been renovating. Though I take the day off. Guess I really have been too busy. String Tara hats, my lady. So how about a beer? I gotta get this fatigue out of my system. Here you go. On the other hand, I'm almost more afraid of not being tired. Being tired is how I know I'm still breathing. No, that's not quite it. How should I put it? Living. Yes, living. You too, ma'am. Here's one to you. Oh, it's you, Emma.
I'm sorry, I got to get going.
Off to do your time on the ag plate?
Yes.
No idea how you managed to smuggle all the food out last year, but I hear you've been paying it off with honest work over there, so no need to be shy now. Have one on me.
Thank you.
Oh, well, if it worked like a bad signal, that'd be fun. If the queen is needed. To living. To Tara.
To...
Emma holds the cup with one hand and puts the other in her pocket, clutching the necklace she reclaimed last winter. The words said to her when it was returned came out of her mouth almost by instinct.
To all our countrymen who gave their lives for Tara.
Oh, Morin. Hello.
You're really leaving, Bridget?
Yeah, the bird and beast are calling me for their pastures. Besides, still haven't been to the Rhodes Island that Lokshini wanted me to see. Want to come with?
Maybe if I have the chance. It's just sad to think that you're the one who brought us to Nassau Irsi, but can't stay yourself.
It's not that I couldn't. I just chose not to. Like your own choice to stay. Say hi to the Wakemen for me, if they come back to the city.
Is that your intuition again?
It's not always right. But I don't smell that burning stink anymore. It smells like fresh buds in spring, dew in the morning. Oh, hi Brigadier. Yeah, he survived. Let's go. Hello, Brigadier. You two know each other?
You could say that. What are you doing here? I don't recall anything happening with which the Red Steel Guard will need to be deployed for. I'm on leave. I came to honor the memory of my comrades. Scoundrels, to be sure, but they fought by my side. If you're looking to take revenge for those who died during your exile, this is your chance. A brawl with a soldier on leave wouldn't be considered an attack on the military.
Then why are you in your uniform? Speaking of, yeah, we were talking in the art stream a couple of weeks ago about, yeah, characters who probably don't change at all. Seems like the Brigadier is one of them. The NPC that lived, yeah.
The bird then start calling me, yeah. It wasn't you who killed Salmon and the others. Not directly. I'll remember what you did. That's enough for me.
I see. What more can anyone ask for than to be remembered? Beltane, also known as the Festival of Fire, is scheduled to be revived in the coming days. The fire passing ritual will start in Oak Grove County. Cool. You can ask for being a playable character, that's true. Also that. Oh, Nemo's also survived, I guess. It was the same, like a close call a couple times.
You're awfully quiet. Are you nervous? No, it just strikes me that we managed to turn what you'd see in the books into reality. On the last day of spring, we extinguished the fires in our homes, then come together to relight them at Beltane, in the smoke of the bonfire and drifting ash. We welcome the coming of a new season, and of a new life.
A voice. Your Highness, Lakshmi, the lighting ceremony will begin in a few minutes.
Alright, thank you. Maybe I waited too long for this. It feels no realer than in a dream. I wanted to sing Nemo's, but you already sung for me back in Nassau, see? So this time, the flames in my hand will do the singing. One more thing, Your Highness. About Her Highness Eblana.
Your Highness, it's time!
Sorry, Nemos. We can speak after the ritual.
The Draco steps forward. A stone platform, sculpted in the style of the ruins, serves as her lectern. She lights the bonfire upon it and turns around. From the square below her, many faces gaze up with bated breath. She takes a deep breath. We love war criminals here, yeah.
1,000 years ago, the Dracos of Victoria invaded Tara, creating the title of King Gale as an epithet of shame, robbing the nomadic Tarans of their freedom. 600 years ago, the reignited King Gale had no choice but to allow the Victorians to remake the royal capital in their own image. 200 years ago, the Aslan seized the crown of Victoria, but once again they trampled the dreams of the Tarans beneath their feet, such that even our language was almost lost to us. Now, Tara stands on her own. I recite this history of shame, not to fan the flames of hatred, but in defense of peace. Seeing what songs in Victoria suffice to praise the beauty you see. Tell what tales in Tara will move the passions. We remember that we might provide the light the dignity of life, and the dead the promise of reunion. Throughout the cold night, we shall retain a warm flame. As such, I, Lakshmi Dublinn, the last descendant of the Taran Dracos, I shall light this fire symbolizing new life. May it guide the way for all, whether living or departed.
Conclusion, Tarans are never happy, never someone else rule where they are. They seem a lot better now. Let's see. Well, it was like life, there's always ups and downs. Enclosed you will find templates for nomadic city immigration forms. Signed, the Kingdom of Tara. This is treason. The King of Tara has long been one of the titles of the Victorian Emperor. Nothing in this letter denies it. To avoid conflict, the Red Dragon has been indefinitely delayed the coronation so many are looking forward to. Oh, okay, I guess, well, there you go. But in reality, the indecisive Clement, the corrupt oligarchs, the blockading army, and the flames of dissent, all these issues have been put to rest. For the first time in centuries, they proudly tell a new legend of a King Gale. In the short term, the unrest has indeed been contained within Wellington's domain. With time, however, it can become a greater threat than any insurrection. Tara must not be allowed to secede from Victoria. As long as Wellington doesn't take his entire territory away in a nomadic city, the other dukes and I will continue negotiating with him. Yes, ma'am. I'll draft some long-term plans regarding that. They really are the Sarkas 2.0, yeah. I mean, it really feels. I mean, I said it many times, yeah, in the Victorian, like, it almost feels like you could have swapped out, or you could have kept the Dublin as the issue, and a lot of the Sarkas arc would have gone on very similarly. Aside from the ending, obviously, but yeah. Like the more deep Sarkas lore stuff. But in terms of the actual conflict, it would have been about the same, I feel. Yeah, the politics continue, of course.
It's finally over. Well done indeed. Thank you. So what was it you wanted to ask about Eblana before the ceremony? We never found her body. If she somehow survived, I worry that someday a completely different story will be told about the resurrection of the Red Dragon.
So that was when it got covered up, right? And then in the actual dialogue, she only talked about putting the spear in. It was the only thing that was said in detail, so yeah. That was well done, I'd say.
What story? That it was no miracle, but the assassination of one dragon by another? Worse than that. I see. You're afraid that Eblana will return and paint the whole thing as a conspiracy I orchestrated. Our position is not unassailable. We both know that her body disappeared earlier that night, after you killed her the first time. What I dragged through the streets wasn't her body, but an empty coffin. I know. I also know that it was I who used the last spark of fire she left in her spirit to ignite the coffin. It was I who left the city to parley with Wellington, laying out our plans in exchange for him delaying military action while they played out. It was I who walked into the fire the people had returned to Eblana. I who quenched and replaced the fire of death with the fire of life, and I who walked out of the fire in the end. We've known all this since the day on the balcony of Nassau Irsis Citadel. Eblana had left us a puzzle with no solution. The only way out was a miracle. A miracle we scripted and directed. If anything, the true miracle was the Wakemen returning to the city. If Eblana hadn't awakened the exiled king, if Bridget hadn't delivered the message centuries overdue, if Moran hadn't persuaded them, with just the two of us, the miracle could never have occurred. So what is there to fear at this point? Eblana has cut off any path leading away from the throne. All I can do is devote the rest of my days to Tara, and patiently await my judgment in some unknowable future.
Damn. Somehow Eblana has returned. My war crime sister. Worse than that. Wait, what? Oh, that's no problem. She's cool now. She joined Rhodes Island, yeah. Worse than that, they made another Star Wars movie. Nemo's was dragging an empty coffin? Lakshmi was planning to resurrect the dragon the moment she first killed you? You're lying. I know. It was Wellington. He found the conscience and lifted the blockade on his own.
You just won't give up, will you? The Iron Duke? With a conscience?
Hilarious. You promised him that only good could come from your scheming.
All I promised him on the Gastrel was that I will change the direction of Tara, so long as Lakshmi was willing to return.
That sounds familiar, right? She did say that, I think.
The Red Dragon who breathes flames of death, the Spectre Force with its dead soldiers, Dublinn with its blood-stained hands. Everything was fated to sink into darkness, while the Tarans united under the banner of the one and only Red Dragon. Of course, His Grace was unaware that everyone in Nassau Irsi was meant to die for the plan, but I knew. A city of doomed souls in exchange for Tara's lasting stability. Only good could come of it, no? A shame that the Duke isn't fond of Lakshmi. Things could have gone even more smoothly otherwise.
Sophistry? You lied to Wellington. Your plan was anything but harmless, and the people of Nassau Irsi did live.
To everyone's surprise. In exchange for their lives, Lakshmi reached for the scepter of power that she detested so much. She chose to write a saga, a novel, a miracle that should have been beneath her noble dignity. It was something only she could do, something that wouldn't have been possible even a few years ago. Would you have placed a miracle on the scales from the start?
What if Lakshmi had failed?
Then you wouldn't be sitting here enjoying your drink. I'm sure you've heard stories about what the Iron Duke does to whatever he considers an obstacle.
I guess so. Every story begins with an inspiration. Memories rush into the writer's mind like seawater at high tide. He struggles to break free, only to find himself powerless against the oncoming tide. Red Dragon, you knew. You knew from the beginning. You almost destroyed Nassau Irsi. You made a mockery of Altara. Now, I must object to that. I simply fulfilled the promise. Is being true to one's word no longer a virtue? Even you yourself admitted that this was a happy ending. Nemo should have gone, it's all Wellington? Yo, no, that would have been bad, I feel. Picking a fight with the Iron Duke. Oh no. But that was another option, I guess, that wasn't mentioned yet. No, never. This isn't how the story ends. This isn't how my story is supposed to go. The writer sees a sliver of white. He falls to his knees and crawls along the ground, trying to collect the scattered sheets of paper that have flown loose. 1, 2, 3. He clutches them in his hands along with his pen. Wait, she's not wrong. No, never. Yeah, kind of felt like that. No. What would you like to write? Let me help you. No. What? The writer's shoulders tremble hysterically. Panicked, he begins to back off until his back hits the rickety wall of the tavern. Grabbing his pen like a spear, he begins to stab at the paper. Muttering under his breath, he only manages to cover them with scattered inkblots. Soon after, his muttering loses coherence. The commotion causes the drunken barkeep to come out from behind the counter and grab him by the collar. What's he babbling about? Realizing that he can no longer form words, the writer looks desperately towards the woman watching him with disinterest. He points at the woman's hands, then at his mouth. The meaning was clear. You've lost your words. Perhaps you hit your head from excitement, or had a minor stroke. Or perhaps it's because you saw something you believed in so firmly, for so long, shattered to pieces. The very thing that inspired you to join Dublinn, caused you to stay at the victory party, made you turn back at Nassau Irsi's halfway. But it's time to wake up. With a trembling hand, the writer tries to write on his palm, but leaves only crooked, disjointed lines. Bro's trying to make a dark fountain, yeah. You wrote a story for Tara? A complete story, not a collection of fragments. It's a good one. I like it. And I like it even more now that it belongs only to me, not you. Slango Foyle, singer. No, writer. Slango Foyle, the last Dubliner. I look forward to the stories you'll tell me when death reunites us. With one last glance at the writer, the woman tosses a few coins onto the table and walks out of the tavern. A memory comes back to the writer. It was the same look Evelana gave him that night, a year and a half ago, when he decided to delay his report after the leader's shadow had already departed, in hopes staying in both sides' good grace. Oh, Rhode Island. Let's go. Wait. What should I call you then? Whatever you're thinking, I'm only Necras here. Unless you two find a signed sheet of paper to hold no power whatsoever. Operator Necras. If you find the title necessary, Erudite. For my part, I'm more curious about your lack of reaction upon hearing the whole story. Wait, so now it was Evelana telling Doctor the story? About how she was telling the story to the writer? About how they were... about what happened in Nassau Irsi? Man. I read the report on Nassau Irsi. I'm already heard the story. Ah, a lapse on my part, I see. First a private letter from Nassau Irsi, then fragments through official channels. Longshin is getting better at this.
Then I presume she's told you all about me, which is why you were willing to sit down with me by yourself and hear out this patchwork tale of allusions and insinuations.
No, she has yet to find your body. She's unaware you're in a position to tell stories. This is too meta, reality is falling, yeah. Plot twist, Doctor is telling the story to Priestess right now. Oh no.
That makes your courage all the more admirable. And I mustn't neglect to give credit to Lakshmi where it's due. She's more than just a qualified dance partner now. She's ready to take the lead. I do hope she enjoys herself.
Sounds like you like your new powers. Sounds like you like your new toy.
Of course I do. The powers of the dead aren't necessarily greater than those of the living, but they are more lasting and harder to check.
But you'll soon grow bored of them. Like everything else you've had. Followers, martyrs, dominion, status.
Life is short, but death is long, Erudite. There are still so many interesting people in the mortal realm. That alone is reason enough for me to await them in death.
So you gave rid your old toys?
A cunning question, Erudite, but I'll allow it. And not only because your accusation is astute, it's prejudiced, but also because you are one of the interesting people I mentioned. And this, Erudite, is how I finished my first mission and hunted down Dublin criminals on the run, writer.
Reality is failing, yeah.
They switch power, or I don't know. I don't think it's exactly that, but
it might be just her that now has those powers. Maybe. What are you intending? Well, what makes me interesting? I guess so, just like how... Well, I guess it was the ritual, so I don't know.
I am inseparable from death. Is it not the natural order of things that those like me should be drawn to Rhode Island? I was drawn, so I came. This place is always covered in the scent of death. After all, especially around you, my dear erudite.
I don't understand that. Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, that's me for real, for real.
You will, someday. When the tides erupt and the night of death descends, you will be grateful for my presence, so long as I do not mock your predicament.
This is how we get all playable characters from Arknights into Enfield. Thanks to Evlana. Hear me out, just a theory, a game theory. This is how we do it. Imagine.
As for right now, I am simply the shadow of Tara's leader. Just Necras, nothing more.
Yeah, so Necras means dead grass, I believe. The tides are up, the Seaborn, AO. Thanks for being the one with saying honest things, Necras. Alright, well, that was it for the story of the event. And then we're done right off time. That was good. I thought we maybe had read too much in the previous stream, but no, it was good. I don't know. I like the ending. I really wonder what that person was saying in Reddit. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. I am curious. I also saw a thread or some people, angry that, or because people, understandably so, were hoping that we'd get some Mandragora crumbs, and we didn't. So understandable, unfortunate, but yeah. Let's see. I guess it's no longer here. Find Elegies. Alright, I'm not gonna like read it out loud on stream or anything like that. I'm just really curious, so I'm just gonna open it right away. Reddit, I guess. One of the weirder stories of Arknights in terms of plot and pacing. Yes, this is completely opposite to like something like Il Siracusa, where I'm like, it's such a good story and such a tight script that just on its own, just like as is, that I really want to see it like as a limited series or anime or animation or of some kind. This one, the story was so all over the place. that I want to see it animated to actually see it in a more cohesive way, because I feel like the way that they told the story, it was hurt a little bit by the fact that it's, you know, on the visual novel context. I mean, maybe they could have done more to make it more clear, the stuff that was happening, and the dialogues were a little weird at times too. And so if they had made it, if they had done more to make it more clear, but yeah, I just think that this one is one that I really want to see animated someday, so that we can see like a cohesive play of the events. Even though I do think it was, like, you know, that the part of the reason why I want to see it was because there were really cool moments, right? There were moments that were, you know, a lot of, as we were discussing at the beginning, you know, hype moments in Aren. But there were also moments that were genuinely cool, and, you know, the writing, you know, it's hit and miss sometimes, but even, especially here. But, you know, there were still some, you know, banger lines and some cool exchanges, so yeah, I'm a little, on and off about how I feel about this event overall. But again, the ending I liked. Yeah, I think it did piece things together well in that last node. And that was that's what I usually hope for, right? That at least by the end of it, everything kind of falls together, or fits together, yeah. Yeah, there were some really cool themes. I feel like they didn't go as deep as they could have, if nothing else. Like, again, those were the parts that felt a little hype moments in Aura, where like, ooh, isn't this concept cool? But then don't go any further, which, you know, Arknights does sometimes. Yeah, exactly. The connective tissue was wonky. There were great topics, like hatred consuming everything, like that Smith who wanted to be a hero and got ironic ending, other things. Yeah, for sure. And especially that, yeah, like you were saying, like, oh, you know, this is messed up, and it's sad that it can even happen. You know, well, you said like it's something that can even happen in real life, and I just missed it mostly because the way that it was executed just felt like way too sudden. But yeah, I mean, it's true, and that's one of the things that Arknights does, right? It's showing the whole what do you call it? The whole spectrum, I guess, of what humanity can be, for better or worse. Yeah. So like I do wanted to go back to that, because yeah, you mentioned that, and I just kind of dismissed it real quick. So yeah, so sorry about that. But that's more so what I meant, that the execution felt really wonky of that first half. So actually, the later half I enjoyed more. But you know, in terms of what happened, obviously you can't have one over the other, or one without the other. I just wish it had been executed a little better. Yeah. I think overall good story. While I was reading through it at the beginning of the stream, it was kind of losing me, but I think they did bring it home. I think so. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I do think in the future some of these shorter events. I mean, I'm glad we got to finish this arc. Actually, I like that now the stories are laid out like this. Yeah, they're separated in different arcs. Because in the future I might stick to the longer events, and especially the main events, the more relevant to the story. I might start to take it easier. I mean, as I've been, I guess, for a while. Kinda loosening up on reading through the events. We still gotta read to Hortus de Escapismo. I don't know if we'll read to Rights of Sylvanhurst, because we also should read Break the Ice. Like I might read that one. That one I might do on my own.
Doctor,
I have no idea what I did there. But yeah, the major events I do still want to continue, or at the very least go at our own pace. So yeah, what do I keep clicking on? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it's nice that they actually structured them into arcs. Yeah. Also weird that they're willing to look past everything Ablana did, but to look in prison, even though she was mostly being controlled by an earthly god. Yeah. The more you look at it, because looking at the story overall, I think I liked it. But when you look at those little details, yeah, a lot of things start to fall apart. I do think, speaking of Tallulah, like something similar happened here, where I feel like a lot of the themes were undermined by the fantastical aspects, like the whole system, or the, you know, the plot device in a way of the purple flames. I felt like it kind of ended up undermining the themes, because it ended up being like, oh, it's because of the purple flames that they are that they are being like that. Even though at the end, I think that's part of what made me feel like they brought it back. That at the end, it was more them being convinced, right, by the funeral people, right, by Moran and the others. So I like that part. I like that it wasn't just like the flames went away and suddenly it's all good. So it did fail for a while that it was being undermined, that aspect of it, with the whole purple flames thing. So yeah. So secret is not being completely working with your own, it's fine. Welcome aboard. You know what? I feel like that's a bad precedent that they are setting in that regard, yeah. Yeah, maybe it could have worked better on paper as a book if we read at your pace, then we read later like, oh, so that's what they meant. And so, true, yeah. Which is funny for this type of event, right? This is a book, and then you're like, oh, maybe it will work better in a book. That's true, and I do feel about that, about a lot of Arknight stories that way. I'm really excited for Enfield because of that, because hopefully if they bring this type of writing, but actually, you know, with that type of format, I feel like they could make some really cool stuff. Obviously, there will still be limitations, and that's why I wish they would. I don't know. Because it's a mobile game, you know, they can't do as much, like we've seen that with Genshin, with other 3D gacha games. So I'm worried about that, but I'm also excited if they do bring it with the story of Enfield. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about Enfield in that regard. Very cautiously, but optimistic nonetheless. That also, yeah, you know what? I'm also excited. To be fair, I'm also excited that the stories will be voiced now. Kinda feels like there is big news to be fine with her redemption, she gets, but they don't actually kill her. Kinda loses many and she's still alive. Yes. I mean, as I was reading it, and again, I do feel like it ended well. But as I was reading it, I was like, I feel like a lot of this will flow better if she actually had died. I was like, did they only make her playable because they knew she'd be popular or something? But I think the story, and I don't know, maybe they will do something with that in the future. Again, if they do the Enfield thing, that'll be kind of funny. But I don't think they're doing that. I feel like they could feel a little cheap. But I don't know. It all depends on execution. Yeah. I did feel that. As I was reading through it, I did feel that way. I do think in the end they brought it home. But there is that argument to be made too. I guess there's also, yeah, the arc, which is like the main... Yeah, I guess it's right after the main stuff. We haven't read through Vigilo, yeah. That was before Babel, and then Ending Grand Overture. Oh, okay, so instead of the Intermezzi, now it's called the arc, okay. It's like the... Well, it's not even the arc, right? It's not even Intermezzi, it's just... Yeah, it's just the more directly connected to the main story stuff. So yeah, we could also read these things in the future. But I mean, the next chapter is coming out soon, so you gotta be ready for that. So yeah. She did say we'll be glad to have her in the future. Yeah, hopefully there is a follow-up on that, so yeah. Hopefully it is worth it. Everything's all mixed up now, which is good, yeah. It's weird because, yeah, you see it and it's like, okay, it's kind of all jumbled up. But compared to how it was before, I do like it more personally. And it is nice that it actually tells you and you can, like, direct to the next thing. That is nice. Yeah. Yeah, so you can separate about movements. Or, yeah, by chronological order. Even though... It's chronological in how, yeah, the order that it came out in, right? Not the actual chronological order of the story. Yeah, no, because Vigila's over here. Babel is gonna be all the way over here, yeah. I guess it's like the way that it's meant to be experienced, right? So, yeah, that's fair. It will be nice, though, to have at least a timeline of the course of events, like how it goes chronologically, to have a like set way to do it without having to look at every event and like calculate the years that have passed and stuff. But it's still nice. It is still an improvement in my opinion. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be it for this time. I don't know if tomorrow we'll play some more Silk Song. I'm still thinking about that. I'll let y'all know later today. But I might have to rest my voice. That might be better actually. And then on Thursday we'll definitely have more Silk Song. So yeah, I'm excited for that as well. And more Rain World. Spoilers actually. Yeah, but there probably is gonna be another Rain World episode this weekend. I'll let y'all know if there isn't. But yeah, I'll make a post later because there's some good news and there's some maybe not so good news. So we'll see. It's all set in 1099 period. We're never reaching 12th century. Wait, it hasn't reached it? Is there a way to know the dates? I don't think it says, right? Yeah, because it doesn't have years attached to them. But I do know, obviously in the events themselves, they do say it. I think the next Siracusa, or maybe the first Siracusa event, it is on 1100. I think so. And I think Lone Trail is also 1100. Like Lone Trail is what marks the switch from 1099 to 1100, I think. So, yeah. So it's like episode 14 ended before, like right before, or the Victorian War, I guess, ended right before 1100. So basically Salem was in 1099, this case of story happens a year later in 1100, yeah. Yeah, it seems like the events that are currently coming out take place in that year, so yeah. That's neat that we have at least a slightly better idea of what's happening. Well, yeah, in the meantime, I guess, yeah, we have this to figure out. So, for now, that will be it, once again. Thank you so much for coming by, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed, yeah, reading together the event. Like I said, we might not do as much of this in the future, but definitely for big events and for main story, we will. So, probably soon, because I've heard that the main story might be coming out sooner than we think. Maybe not, but whenever it comes out, we will. So anyway, with all that said, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Once again, I'm glad you enjoyed it, yeah. Thank you for coming. I'm Aren, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone. Take care. Oh, let me leave it on the event theme. There you go. Alright. See ya, everyone.